Hello, everybody, and welcome. I haven't plugged my mic in yet. We're D&D Boyband, a group of friends that all like to play D&D Pretty Boys, because apparently it's not fantasy unless everybody's hot. This is an original D&D campaign set in the critical role world of Exandria. So far, we have been everywhere from the Barb Fields, Rasona, deep beneath the ground, Kymel, and finally ending up staying in a brothel, going to a party. Arguably the most dangerous adventure yet. I'm Dungeon Master Jamie, and joining me tonight are the Spice Boys. First of all, let me introduce Clued as Barnes.
Hey, that's me.
We are sadly down Eski as Zug, Sai as Aku, Luke as Ascor.
Send me the money.
Welcome back, Luke, after significant absence. Sag. Lauren as Lorian. Unfortunately, not Bucky as Grungus. We couldn't afford his fee. And Erin as Hayden.
Oh.
Before we begin, do we have any announcements?
We do. We have a new announcement today. Some of you already discovered this in the chat, but we've unlocked a new emote. Actually, if we didn't unlock it, Twitch just decided that after we grinded so much last year trying to unlock a bunch of emote slots, they were just going to be like, yeah, actually, we're just going to give you all a bunch of emotes anyway, and you don't have to work for it, which is kind of annoying. But anyway, we've got new emote slots, which means new emotes. And since we have new characters, I think you can see where this is going. So we have a new Lorian emote available in Twitch chat. We also have a Barnes emote on the way. However, sadly, Twitch has put him in the naughty corner, and he is being
Free
approved.
Barnes, let him be free. He did nothing wrong. Hashtag free Barnes, get the movement going.
It's so weird because I actually uploaded Lorian's Barnes's emote first, and then like continued drawing Lorian's emote for like another hour or so afterwards, and then uploaded Lorian's emote ages later, and his just got approved instantly, which I was like, wrong with Barnes though. Like Lorian's emote literally has words on it, so you'd think that that would get checked first, but anyway. So yeah, you can use D&D boy Lorian in the chat. He's a laughing little dude. He looks pretty cute. And keep your eye out for the Barnes emote, which hopefully will be available next week. And that's it for the announcements. We do have some artwork that we're going to be debuting later on in the session, but you gotta wait for it. Spoiler right now.
Just fixing my mic. Is this working?
Yes.
Does it sound better?
Yes.
Better or worse?
We can hear you now.
Good. So, to catch everybody up, last session, the group finished off their fight with the mysterious flower skeleton creature who managed to knock Barnes unconscious, do some fairly significant damage to the rest, but ultimately the party avoided civilian casualties, any of the important political guests dying. I think it was only 2 or 3 guards, which realistically, given the scale of the attack and the strength of the creature, was impressive. The party reacted quite well and managed to stop a lot of the guards touching and empowering the rot flower. They then had a brief exchange with Sylphrena Valano, where they were invited to come visit her ship. They also gave the report to the guards before sneaking off. Unwittingly, perhaps, the group's heroics have caused them to be quite well known, especially those of you who wish to remain hidden. As a result of your party as well, it appears that you have been invited to the party you were planning on sneaking into this evening at the Galvadane estate, which still plans on going ahead. You have messaged Ascor, where he told you that he was watching the bastard who had taken his spot, or something to that effect, through gritted teeth. I believe you had all just gone to find outfits for the party that Lorian had convinced some of you. It was a pimps and hoes themed party.
Pimps and priests, more like.
Oh, sorry, pimps and priests.
Get it right,
apologies.
Jamie.
Those of you who aren't in the Discord won't have seen the roleplay chat where Hayden was corrected on this by a tailor. However, some of the group may not have heard the warning in time. D&D Boyband, you have approximately 8 hours till the party. I believe you were going to spend the majority of that on downtime because that way you get a long rest and you're getting your outfits sorted. So if anybody's done anything during that time that would interrupt their rest, or if you're allowed a 4-1, Barnes, I know, 4-hour one, Barnes, I know, let me know, and we can talk about it before you guys arrive at the party. Assuming, I think we talked about it as well, you're going to be doing that, and then the plan is to visit Sylphrena on the subsequent day. D&D Boyband, go ahead.
Lorian also gets 4-hour rest, just want to flag that about that as
Oh, okay, so we can rest for 4 hours and spend the rest of the night on shenanigans, yeah?
Man,
That's in our future.
I want to do shenanigans, but I also am missing spell slots. Hayden wouldn't think about spell slots though. He would just get up to the shenanigans. So, what I would like to do, I mentioned this on the Discord actually, is so after getting shoved by Aki yesterday and falling into, actually no, it was earlier this morning, and falling into a passerby, Hayden accidentally slipped into his old habits of almost unconsciously pickpocketing the stranger that he fell into. Old habits die hard, I suppose. It was how he got by for a long time, and he's been feeling a little bit guilty about it, considering he has a lot more money than he used to have when he was pickpocketing to survive, and he looked inside the wallet to discover that it only had 2 gold coins and a small crayon drawing of a cat, and he felt like, oh shit, this family probably needs this more than I do. So after exiting the tailor, where he has put in his order to get his costume made for this evening, or outfit, because it's not costume, thankfully, he would like to return to the district where he stole the wallet and attempt to find the owner. So I think his first thing he's going to do is he's going to examine the wallet inside out and try to see if there's any identifying information, like an address or name sewn into the inside of the wallet, or a receipt or something like that that can help him get a triangulation of maybe where he should be looking.
Okay. I would just say make a general investigation check.
Okay. That's a 25.
25. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Scrawled into the kind of the back. Sorry, I'll bring up my advanced notes, given that you rolled high. Hayden, please. Scrawled into the back. There isn't kind of a name and an address. And it says Orwell. And the address you don't actually recognize, but you think it's kind of in the northern farms.
Okay.
This person was probably passing through, maybe to pick up like food or supplies. But upon talking to people who know the town a bit better, like Zug, that's where you go.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna travel to that location, and once I'm there, I don't know, do I continue now, or do you want to switch to one?
No, we'll deal with this. That's fine.
Okay, well, when I get there, can I find
the outwall? Yes.
Can I find the specific house that it is likely to belong to?
Yeah, absolutely. You can make. Are you asking people around, or are you trying to find it?
Yeah. So I'm gonna kind of go up to people and be like, "Hey, I found this wallet on the ground. I'm trying to return it to the owner. Do you know where this address is?" Do my good
Make
deed.
an insight check.
Ooh, okay. Oh no. No, it's not loading. It's showing as a 0. How is that possible? Oh wait, no, it's a natural 20.
Natural 20. Okay.
Okay.
A couple of people go, "Oh yeah, I know them," or a couple of people claim to be them, and you kind of immediately suss out.
Maybe
No,
I shouldn't show the
you
wallet
don't.
and just
Yeah.
ask about the address instead.
Yeah, and with that, eventually after some time, you make your way, like eventually finding somebody. I'll say with that roll, it's pretty quick. I'll say it takes probably an hour. You find your way to what is currently kind of a bunch of kind of tents that all seem to be propped up on a bit of a thing where you presume maybe temporary workers stay there for a while before moving back somewhere else. And you're kind of pointed to like a bit of a slightly beaten up tent with kind of patches sewn into it. And as you approach, you hear a meow.
Is it the cat that matches the drawing?
Like you sort of see it emerge, and it's like a small little, very much a mongrel cat. Kind of, you can see almost every single breed's characteristics in it. And it kind of looks
Dude.
about 4 or 5.
It's gonna be okay.
it kind of like walks up to you and kind of moves kind of
cat.
like moves its does that thing with the cat arch their back and like pushes its entire feet like back up against your shins and starts purring and kind of motions up for you to stroke it.
Can I pet the cat?
You may make an
Oh.
animal handling check.
Oh no! Oh god, I hope I don't fuck this up. Animal handling. Oh. An 8.
An 8. After a little bit of time, the cat kind of grows bored, kind of moses on over and sits down next to the kind of still ever so slightly smoking fire, and kind of just like watches you out the corner of its eye. Doesn't seem particularly enamored with your petting,
That's fine.
but is now indifferent to your presence.
Oh no!
Is the cat fluffy, Jamie? What color is the cat?
The cat is brown, with kind of little black spots, and occasionally a little tuft of white like under the chin.
So cute.
Hey, that cat sounds expensive, man. You can steal that thing.
No.
The one with the spots. You got to get them one.
Can I recognize or see the owner of the wallet, or does the cat seem to belong to anyone in particular?
The cat is like sitting outside one of these like tents, essentially.
Okay. Can I like? Okay, I'm gonna go up to the tent then that he's sitting outside of, and I'm gonna call out, hello?
No response.
Anyone there?
No response.
I found a wallet. I don't know if it belongs to you.
This is midday-ish.
At work.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay. Well, I can't wait around all day. All right. What I'm gonna do? Risky. I'm gonna look to the cat and I say, I'm gonna take some rations out of my bag and try to tempt the cat over with a little bit of food.
You make another animal handling check with
Okay.
advantage.
Okay. Animal hand. God, these rolls are so bad. 14.
Okay, that's fine. With food, he kind of like slowly moves on over, like slightly cautiously, but eyeing the food the entire way.
Okay.
What do you do with it?
I am going to take a bit of string, and after placing 200 gold inside the purse, I'm going to tie the purse to the string and tie it around the cat's neck as like a little collar.
Cat immediately hits the floor as the heavy weight. Okay, the cat like lets you do it while it's kind of like munching at the corner of its mouth, and as you can finish up tying it, like, what do you motion it in a certain direction, or do you just let it go off on its own?
I'll just let him do his thing. Cat. Maybe like, go on, go home. We'll try to motion him towards the tent.
The cat like refuses to acknowledge your zig, and it just kind of slowly walks into the tent, and as you kind of peek aside, you see it like it's curled up on like a little roll mat and some bed sheets there, and it's kind of digging a little bit, and like turns around like 3 or 4 times, then sits down.
Does it meow?
No, just quiet. It's purring.
Can I meow at the cat to see if he'll meow back at me?
Yeah.
Okay, my work here is done.
This is real life.
I'm gonna my good deed done. I'm gonna return to Amon and go
We're
back.
playing
to...
real life simulator right now.
I feel like
you literally have a cat.
I feel like you could have an inspiration point for role playing yourself through your D&D character.
It's real life.
A reminder: an inspiration point is a lucky dice, essentially.
Oh, cool! This is my first one. I've never had one before.
I know. I keep meaning to give them out for good role playing moments, and I forget. Just because I don't give you one.
This campaign.
Yeah, just because I don't give you one doesn't mean you haven't had a good role playing moment. It just means that I'm terrible. And you're all terrible players. Let's go.
Wow.
He's not wrong.
Yikes. Anyway, who's next? Ignore it. Is personally offended by that.
Well, I would like to go on a trip to Rosanna with uses of teleportation circle. So to achieve this, actually before I do this, I need to go to a souvenir shop and pick up 2 I Love Amon hats, 2 tea coasters, and the biggest, fuzziest hoodie, or whatever the Renaissance Fair equivalent is in Amon.
the big hat with the quill, like stitched into it, like I love him more. And you arrive back, in the Everfield estate, kind of the flash of light. And after some time, there's like slightly hurried footsteps, making your way down, down, and then you see a slightly haggard, slightly sleep deprived looking Roman appear and stare into the room as Roman, you have just seen Barnes appear at 2 a.m. in the.
Oh shit! Is there a time difference? You're wearing your nightie. My
what
bad.
do you think?
Oh, do you know, I'm just not really clear on the geography of the whole thing. I thought Amon might be closer, but I guess it's not. Hello, how are
I'm
you
pretty
doing?
Sure, the geography of the planet has not changed that much since your time.
No, but I don't know where Amon is. I mean, it could be anywhere. It could be like 2 miles north, or it could be like, I don't know. Well, as far as it is. How are
Well,
you
next-
doing? And he's obnoxiously loud and cheerful for a 2 a.m. visitor.
Next time, I suggest you perhaps take a look at a map before deciding to drop by in the middle of the night.
Well, that's a very astute suggestion. That is why you're an archmage. Speaking of archmages, I'm here to see my 3 favourite archmages, not just you, so I've got a present as well for all of you. And he like jingles maybe like a little canvas bag that he has, looking real pleased with himself.
If it... Never mind. Come on then. And I guess Roman's just gonna kind of walk past, maybe pick up a cloak on his way out and go with Barnes to the Dungeons of Penance. I think that's where we were keeping Vespin, right?
Yes, it is
Right,
indeed.
if you're cold, then try this. And he pulls out.
Was that
Pulls
one?
what
Wow.
off,
Amon
sorry?
casts in,
Yes.
opposite to Roman as they walk.
Oh wow, what just happened?
My...
Dude,
my-
you just went through like a time warp. You want to hit us again?
Boy.
Yeah, my life just flashed before my eyes. Yeah, while you're walking, he'll say, "Oh, Roman, if you're cold, try this one." And he'll pull out an "I love him" on hat and offer it to Roman as they're on their way.
Roman will look at it and make no movement to take it from Barnes and just continue walking.
You want? Should I? He'll like reach out and try and plop it on his head. No. All right. Well, maybe we'll do this later.
Just keeps walking.
We'll
All right.
continue to whistle annoyingly behind you.
Absolutely. I would assume that when you arrive, the guards will summon Essex Thedas, who will appear wearing a slightly haggard expression, pulling off, I will say, disheveled cheek, but looking super annoyed as well. Hello, Buns and Ulaman. As pleasure as always.
I got a feeling you don't mean that. I just assumed all archmages would be sort of
Oh no.
Here it
working
comes.
late into the night. You're not that sort. No. Ah.
But
Happened again.
Oh, my computer, guys. I just thought you'd all be working late into the night. No,
It's
My
called a
bad.
work-life balance, Barnes.
I didn't think you were the type, Roman, honestly.
Well, we're all here trying to build better habits. Isn't that right, Essex?
immortality has its perks. Please.
So, how are things? How's Vespin?
A difficult one. He often has outbursts. I believe the term is a sleep screamer. Doesn't like being in total darkness. But also doesn't like being alone. Seems to take comfort in having even a guard posted outside. Lots of mutterings. Nothing discernible or useful so far, unless you've got anything, Roman, from him.
You know me, I try to spend as much time as possible as far away from him as I can.
A little disconcerting.
Not
Sounds-
a pleasant man to be around.
Occasionally, I think I do see a flash of what he once was in his eyes, and I don't like it.
Sometimes a kick to his jaw sets him back right, though.
Do you know, right, Roman, safety, violence, physical violence, and altercations are really going to set us back on this process. So if you could refrain from kicking him in the face,
Roman
that
just
would be
turns,
so good.
Roman turns to Essex and winks.
That would be so good.
As it goes back, it's like, well, I don't think you can go backwards from 0.
Well, you can. They're in negative numbers, Essex. Did they not teach you that now?
The good news for you, Barnes, is that both Esk and I are trained in Dunamancy, so we can actually kick him in the jaw and then rewind time as if it never happened.
Oh, right. If you're doing that, that's
I've-
fine.
I've
Slap
kicked you-
away.
I've
Do what
kicked
you
you in
like.
the jaw several times since you arrived. And you
Bond's
don't know
kind
if
of
that's
like,
true or not.
bosses. Oh, bloody chronomancers, you guys are crazy. Anyway, first of all, I have presents, and he's gonna pull out the tea coasters, the mugs. He'll reserve a hat and a fleece for Vespin and be like, no, these are for Chloras, but these mugs are for you.
Essex takes it, and it kind of just seems to vanish into his sleeve. I thank you.
Offering accepted. Great. Should I just go do my thing? You can thank me later.
I think that would be best.
What exactly is your thing?
Oh, right. I've got a plan. I'm going to get him really high and use that as a way to access the inner workings of his mind. But first, I need to do some groundwork. So, really, today's session is about sort of just establishing where he's at and sort of seeing how we can take it forward, providing comfort and familiarity with me, who'll be doing the process. And, well, I'll be doing some of the experiments with the drugs with, like, Hayden and Aku. So, if it works on them, it'll probably work on Vespin Chloras.
You're doing what?
I
Is
know what
that-
I'm
is
doing.
that-
Trust me, I have a degree.
Hold on. Is this what terms for a joke
No,
for you?
deadly serious. It was an emergent area of psychiatry back when, I was in a place where things made sense. So,
And you are testing them with their permission.
entirely, yes, they've signed up to be my guinea pigs. We're going to have a good time of it. With Aku, we're going to go, like, to a tree sort of place, forest, have a good relax. Maybe some tea as well.
Maybe
Talk
some,
about our feelings.
maybe some safety measures to ensure there are no sharp objects in the vicinity while you're testing.
All right. Be a shame if he stabbed me by accident.
It would be a shame.
Oh, am I alive?
You keep like freezing, and then your audio like happens a second later, slightly sped up. It's
Really rapid, high-pitched Irish.
Yes, it would be a shame if you
Hamster.
were to be stabbed. That would be a shame.
Again, I get the feeling you don't mean it.
Do we need any medics on hand?
No, I'm just going to talk to Vespin. Just, leave me to it. I'll do
Well,
some
don't
work.
you worry. If anything goes down, we'll be out here with our boots ready.
Ready to kick whoever needs kicking. Hopefully not me.
We'll be ready.
Um, They lead you in, and these like weird time distorting effect takes control of you. And not quite sure where you are or how long it's been, and eventually, you arrive at a single cell with a slightly comfier bed than you've seen before, a chair. Not much to do, and just not all of your instructions have been directly followed for kind of Vespin's comfort, but it's not the worst cell you've seen here.
Oh dear, Vespin, this isn't good, is it?
Um,
How are you doing? And
You see Vespin
give him
curled up, sitting next to one of the lights, kind of eyes shifting backwards and forwards from like seemingly like 2 points on the floor, and you see that he always seems to be drawing a line between them with his hand, just shifting side to side.
Oh dear. Well, bought you some presents, but anyway, let's get to work. And I'll plop the hat upon his head. Maybe
Cool.
give him his
Um,
little hoodie fleece, and yeah.
As we said, we will not be role-playing these at this point. It's just skill checks. What is the most appropriate? I
I think 2 things I want to achieve are like feeling of comfort and familiarity in things.
Yeah. That's probably just a straight charisma roll.
Straight charisma. You sure we can't be persuading him to
We're
feel
not
comfortable?
no, because he's not responding to language.
If I use calm emotions, do we?
You can have advantage on the roll.
Okay. That's that. And okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to use my memories from a past life. Tap into memories of when perhaps I knew Vespin Chloras better, whatever dredges from the past. So that's 19 plus my charisma modifier. So that's gonna be 24.
24. Okay. I will say that by the time of end of your time spent with him, he is obviously much less stressed. His shoulders have kind of gone back a little bit. He's less agitated. He doesn't flinch when you try to move towards him. The eye kind of thing has stopped, and his breathing is a lot less shallow.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, well, do you know, if you're sitting here drawing lines the whole time, then let me show you a cool one, and I'll show him how to draw a circle. You know, shit like that. Treat him real nice.
Cool. Okay. Is there anything I should like to achieve?
I guess I want to get a sense for like the sorts of things he's talking about, if he's ever talking, like, I guess just get a sense for where he's at.
Yeah. I would say speaking to Roman and Essek and the guards, there are lots of muttering where the names of all the betrayer gods are mentioned. There is lots of mutterings of red eyes in the dark. There is mutterings of ever-present screaming, of feeling like his soul has been stretched and shattered. And there seems to be a repeated theme of eyes throughout. You notice that the one time he seems to have been trying to hurt himself, he seemed to have been scratching an eye into the back of his hand.
No, eyes are sort of creepy. I get that, but just don't dwell on them too much, huh?
He kind of twitches a little bit and looks up at you. Like every time, like as much as he's relaxed, every time he looks at your face, there's like a flicker of something, and he just looks straight back down. Doesn't seem to be able to look you in the eyes for longer than a second.
I know, we got a lot to sort out, but today's not the day. Anyway, glad to see you're doing somewhat better, and I'll be back soon with more hats. Maybe other stuff, if you're allowed.
When you leave, you see him, he's like pull the hat over and put it on his head.
Oh, that's cute.
Is it?
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, on the way I'll be like,
Is your man pet cute, Clue?
he's sad, guys. We're helping a sad boy.
Fundamentally broken on every
You
level.
have a man as a pet.
He just needs some help. Anyway, on the way out, I'll be like, all right, thank you very much. I'll be back soon. Is there anything you want me to bring to the boys? I might bring them next time if you'll have them.
I'd rather you didn't.
Next time, please check in with a more appropriate time. Sometime in the early afternoon would be best, as that is when we're often doing our checks on him.
Right, all right, I'll keep that in mind, thanks.
And before you go, and he sort of like reaches into a drawer, like in a thing. I don't know, probably something there, some office equipment or something, maybe, I don't know, in the dungeon. And he pulls out like a small wooden box with like a little brass clasp on it and like a scroll that's kind of wrapped up and has like the Everthill crest kind of like wax stamped into it. If you could hand these to Hayden, if you wouldn't mind, I would appreciate the safe passage to him.
All right, delivery to your son, got it.
I'm too died for this, Barnes. Go home.
All right, see you soon. And I'll make my way to teleport back.
Absolutely. So you teleport back. Appearing back in the morning, I say you were only gone for an hour and a half, all things included, and the weird timey-wimey stuff. Barnes, I presume you're resting for the rest of the time.
Yeah, he's gonna find a hammock, stare at the ceiling, and just probably brood to what anyone else from anyone else's opinion.
Okay, awesome. Hayden, I'll say you get back probably around the same time Barn does. Aku and Lorian, what are you up to?
Well, I would like to have a long rest. So,
Okay. Asleep then, or relaxing.
yeah, I think probably asleep in his room.
Cool.
Is Aku at Lorian's shop or is he at the brothel?
I think
You know
he
the
probably.
answer to that.
I actually think he probably would have just passed out like the last place that everyone was gathered, which would have been Lorian's shop. So I think maybe he might just be like on the floor somewhere, like asleep.
Lorian's like sat in a hammock and he's like smoking what looks like one of those fucking Gandalf pipes. Those really long ones with like the thing on the end and like blowing little smoke rings that like turn into like little critters and stuff like that. And he like passes Aku the pipe. I don't know if Aku's awake to receive it or not.
I mean, it depends. Like, if he's literally asleep, then he probably wouldn't do anything if Lorian
No,
handed over
no,
the pipe.
pokes him with the pipe. No, no. All right then. Never mind. Next time.
Okay. So that's where no, you haven't. The rest of you. Is there anything anybody would like to do or achieve before you guys head off to the party? In that case, all right.
Nope. He seems to just be attending to his business in his shop.
Wonderful. Well, I will say that you will convene. A carriage has been in some way organized for you to pick you up at the address that Lorian has specified. Maybe not quite the shop, but on Abadar's Promenade. You will convene wearing the outfits that you are going to be wearing to the party. If we go one by one, perhaps showing artwork if you wish, could you please describe what you are wearing to the Pimps and Priests party or the Fool party, depending on what you believe the theme to be?
This is sick.
I'm so ready for this.
To clarify, for those who didn't see last time, and Ascor, it is very much a black tie formal event, and Lorian has attempted to fuck with the party. And some
Watch it.
people bought it.
What was the second theme?
It's by the black tie, or it's priests. Pimps and priests.
Right, I thought you said the second one was like the Fallen, whereas like
No,
dressing like black trench coats or something.
No.
No, nothing that tasteful, my guy.
Got it.
How are we doing this, Bam?
All right, so I guess we're gathering in Lorian's shop.
Yep.
In our new
Hold up.
clothes.
Oh, never mind.
Sorry, not the case then. Lorian, would you go to the brothel instead?
Lorian would have probably gone to the thing by himself to speak to Eloise first, probably, and he'd probably meet them there.
All right. Okay, so maybe about an hour before we're due to depart, there's a knock at Lorian's door, where which is the address that Hayden gave to the tailor, and two parcels arrive. One is an outfit for Hayden, and the other he turns to Aku, who's probably just recently woken up from his 8-hour afternoon nap, and he's like, I realized that you didn't go and buy anything, so I ordered you something. I hope that's okay.
Aku just looks like he's on a different dimension. His eyes are like glazed over, his hair is sticking up. He probably has some drool like on his chin, and he's just like, what? What outfit?
Well, Lorian said earlier that there was a theme for the party. Like pimps and priests, I think it was. But I went to the tailor and I was talking to her and I was saying, yo, I need like a priest outfit for the party tonight. And she was like, what are you talking about? There's no theme. It's a black tie event. And I was like, what? So anyway, I ordered an outfit and then I realized that you didn't have one. So when I saw that you were asleep, I was like, well, can't go naked. So I went back and ordered you something. I hope it's okay.
You hear a "why not" when you say "can't go naked" from Barnes's hammock.
Looking slightly more awake, Aku kind of rubs his eyes and sort of just goes, I see. Thank you, Hayden.
Here you go. And he hands him the parcel so he can go off and get changed.
Okay.
Barnes, did you manage to get something? Did you get my message?
I did get your message, but after I'd already arranged something. But to be honest, I wouldn't change it for the world. I shall be both a priest and a pimp, and potentially also a hoe at the same time.
Well, hold on. What are you wearing?
It's modelled after an old acquaintance of mine. Here, and he'll point to the hanger that he's probably strung up on some like vines of Lorian's or something. And it probably looks remarkably out of place. Black, gold, red, glittery, kind of two little kind of pointy shoes. It looks like fairly majestic. He kind of looks very pleased with himself. And he's like, it's modelled after my old acquaintance. He was an archmage of blood and hemomancy. I think he might have had a cult in his spare time as well. I thought it was sort of like towing the line, you know, of all the themes at once.
Yeah, I can see it. It looks quite Hastily.
Elden Ring for anybody who's played it.
A little ominous, perhaps. I sort of like the gold detailing, and yeah, I don't know. What did you get?
Hold on, I'll show you. And so, Hayden disappears into another room, and he comes back, a minute or so later, and image. So Hayden comes back out, armored, dressed in a sharply tailored black waistcoat and trousers, with a pair of polished Oxford shoes. The waistcoat has a subtle grey brocade on the lapel and a silver trim. And oh wait, that bit hasn't happened yet. I'm gonna skip past that bit. Thankfully, he has a shirt this time. Unlike the last party he went to, it's in a slate blue that contrasts nicely against his suit. And it's currently pushed up to his elbows and fastened with a small clasp at the sleeves.
A class.
A small what?
A what?
The
A
what?
Excuse me? Hello?
What?
He's wearing a pair of so he's wearing a pair of simple black leather gloves on his hands. And for some odd reason, he seems to still be wearing his archery arm guard strapped to his left forearm. It looks so out of place. I don't know why he's wearing that, you guys. Anyway, the only thing that other than his arm guard that looks a little bit out of place is his hair. It has grown out a little bit during his travels with you guys over the past couple of months. And while it looks like he's made some effort to comb it, it still sticks up in little tufts as if it's trying to escape the formality of his own attire.
Oh shit!
It's probably
It looks so
it's probably the best dressed you've seen him since you first met him. Although he looks handsome, he also looks very unaccustomed to wearing such finery, and he keeps fiddling with the hems of his clothes.
You look so grown up. I can't believe it. Just a few hours ago, I was telling Roman you're like a son, but I don't know, maybe more like a younger brother. Actually, that reminds me. And he's gonna fish around in his pocket. He probably slept on this box in his hammock and pass over this little box and a now slightly squashed bit of rolled up parchment.
What's this?
From your dad,
My dad?
Roman Evertill.
Oh, wait! We're not related!
You don't need to be related to have paternal or feelings for somebody, you know. It's not
Drink
about
therapy.
blood, it's about the relationship that the two of you have.
Yeah.
He nurtures you, looks after you, you respect him. You learn from him, he helps you be better. You help him be better in turn by the joy of your existence.
Yes?
I know, what's in the box? I'm really curious.
Yeah, okay. What's in the box? We had an entire session about what was in the box like a couple weeks ago. Okay, so Hayden's gonna unfurl the piece of parchment that
Imagine having the wish spell.
Roman.
Imagine.
Imagine having the wish spell and a fates card and not using either of them. Oh my god. Okay, so Hayden's gonna unroll the parchment and start reading it. And I haven't read this yet, so you guys are gonna get to read it at the same time as me. So
Oh yeah.
spoilers. Okay, he reads this to himself in his head. He's not reading this.
I was
out to
gonna
the
say, are
others.
you reading this out to the
No,
party?
no,
'Cause,
but I'm gonna read it out for the sake of the stream. Dear Hayden, or maybe you should read it in Roman's voice. Read it in Roman's voice.
Might be good.
Let's go, let's go. Come on.
Oh, do I have to?
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my god. I
Yeah.
literally wrote this like 10 minutes before the stream.
Let's go, let's go.
Okay. Dear Hayden, I hope this letter finds you well, and you have avoided being pulled into any new nonsense with the others since your arrival in the city. How are you finding Amon? You must be enjoying the warmth of the sun again. At least, do not neglect to apply the appropriate sun-damaged tincture. Even a short exposure can lead to long-term harm on your skin. While it is peaceful here, to be back home, and especially after so long, I cannot help but feel that peace turn into a heavy, oppressive silence at times. I dare say I feel a little lonely since your departure, which, after a decade of surviving alone in an eldritch hellscape, well, who would have thought that? Our evening puzzle-solving sessions brought me an honest joy, and one I hope to recapture as I continue to reconnect with folks in time. Work at least has kept me busy. Sharing this burden with others in aid of the dynasty's protection has certainly lifted a heavy weight off my shoulders, though I cannot say I feel absolved of guilt and responsibility for what happened with Elenia. I feel comforted in knowing we are unified in our search for a solution. Although I do not wish to leave this message on a negative note, I am afraid I must declare some concerns I have regarding your new compatriot Barnes.
Yo.
I have suspicions all is not as it seems with him, and as my brother would say, he does not pass the vibe check. Loath as I am
Vibes, I knew that was coming.
loath as I am as to measure in such unacademic terms. On his most recent visit, I picked up on some abnormal arcane readings, which, upon further inspection, I discovered were caused by a dusting of brimstone in his footsteps. However, Oh, sorry, I misread there. My temper being as it is, I feel it would be best for me to avoid any forward confrontations. However, I include this information to you, to do with as you feel appropriate. Should you need anything of me, please feel free to write. I do prefer this to more invasive magical messaging. And above all else, Hayden, take care. P.S. I have enclosed a small trinket. If you like it, then if you do not worry. It's just a little token of the Kryn dynasty, nothing too big or fancy. And perhaps, if you like, you could write back with something that you might like from Persona, and I could send it for you next time. And I spelled that wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sure.
Cutest thing I've ever received in my whole life. I love it.
Barnes is just beaming at you with the biggest smiley face, like, well, what does he have to say? He seems like he misses you very much.
Whatever. And he like gets all like flustered, and he kind of like folds up the paper really quickly and like shoves it into his pocket.
Aww,
and
the two of yous are so cute.
and he inspects the little trinket that he's been sent. Not a gift. Very clear difference. And it's a small metal pin in the shape of a dodecahedron with a little purple infinity symbol in it. And it's a little lapel pin, which he clips onto his collar of his waistcoat, and he looks quite proud, kind of glancing down at it. Brushes it off. He's like, cool. That's great. Roman's doing well. Thanks for delivering the letter, Barnes. I appreciate it.
Oh, no worries. You look very fetching with the pin on. It's very officious. Very cool.
You think so?
Yeah, really, really. You look great.
Oh, thanks.
Anyway, I better go change into my spooky archmage get-up.
Yeah, for sure. Hayden's gonna kind of peer around, see if Aku's gotten changed into his clothes yet. He's curious to see if he got the measurements right.
So when Aku goes away to change, everyone kind of hears a sort of bit of bumping, maybe a bit of like huffing and stomping, and then there is a pretty loud of just clothing ripping. And
Is it around the bicep?
Aku steps out, clearly
It's around the
missing
groin.
Oh,
a
nice.
piece of clothing, throws the shreds at Hayden and said, "Shirt didn't fit."
It was around the whole man. It didn't fit around the whole man.
I'm so sorry. I tried so hard to get your measurements, and was it really that bad?
Aku doesn't look bothered. He's just like, "It's breezier this way anyway. I prefer it." Absolutely not aware that it's probably not socially acceptable to go to a party shirtless, but doesn't give a fuck anyway.
As
Maybe
Barnes walks into the room to change, he's going to wink at Hayden and be like, "Do you know, if you want his measurements for real, you're going to have to do more than look next time." He winks and wanders in to get changed.
the shirt cost me like 2,000 gold. I don't know. I don't know how much clothes cost. Probably wasn't 2,000.
That was not 2,000 gold. That is like magical item level. That was probably 50 gold at the absolute most expensive you could afford.
The shirt cost me like 50 gold.
Hayden,
What?
it's fine. It's fine. Oh. Actually, and he kind of like looks upwards and is like, do we have to pay for drinks at this party, or do rich people provide them?
I don't know. The last time I was at a rich people party, it was Ghost's funeral. I didn't pay for those drinks.
Down.
I didn't pay for those drinks. It's gonna be free bar, open bar. Let's go. It's gonna be so good.
But yeah, otherwise, aside from being shirtless, Aku is wearing a clearly very nicely tailored cloak, which Hayden has very appropriately picked for him in a lovely dark green with golden embroidery around it, and a fur trim, which is very similar to one that Aku wears on a day-to-day basis. So he's feeling pretty comfy. He also, just as a quick question, DM, do we think that we're allowed to take any form of weapon to this party? Because I don't think Aku is gonna let his spear go anytime soon.
You all be under the impression you might have it taken off you, or you might at least someone might try.
Okay, well, he's wearing a
Did
spear.
Aku not have the ability to like summon and like desummon a spear?
No, he can teleport to a spear. But he can't summon it.
Still cool.
Okay.
Before we leave, I suppose Zug would emerge from his room with his outfit. Lauren, since this was your creation, do you want to roleplay Zug?
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't know about role-playing Zug, and also, like, full context, I don't draw, like, Clued and Erin. I just felt bad that, like, Zug was the only person with us that, like, was getting prepared for the party and didn't have an outfit to share. So, I thought about what it would be like for Zug to thinking of the theme of, priests and pips to go to an atelier and try and talk to a craftsperson to create an outfit. So in my headcanon, Zug goes to like a person who makes like vestments for priests, and he says, you know, I'm got to go to this party tonight, and they want me to dress up as a priest. So I don't really know much about religion, but maybe you could make me an outfit for Geb. Could you do that? And they're like, what the fuck's a Geb? Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, he sort of just a man, maybe. I'm not really quite sure what he is. Maybe he's an aboleth. Who knows? But he's trapped underground in a cage. And they're like, okay, right, you know, sort of things priests wear. You must know. You make the outfits as the priests, and they probably have no idea what he's talking about, and he probably can't articulate perfectly what he wants. So he probably draws on a piece of paper the symbol that he saw Rasha wearing and sends that to them, and they probably just give him some of the most default vestments for priests they have with some Geb symbols tacked on. And the size of Zug probably got nothing that fits, not on short notice. So he probably ends up with some ill-fitting sort of smart priest garb. It's just, I don't know. I'm sorry, Esky. I'm sorry.
This is brilliant. I love
This
it.
is my
This
Zug
cracks me
fanfiction.
up,
This is
dude.
literally my Zug
Bursting
fanfiction.
open at the
The
seams.
like-
gaping buttons down the chest.
So yeah, in his little Geb priest outfit that doesn't quite fit him, and he's probably quite embarrassed about it.
As
Anyway,
the acting head of the cult of Geb, this is now the official ordained uniform for the clergy. And because they're all blacksmiths, they all swole. So, you know, gaping shut buttons
Yep.
is appropriate.
I think even on the officially tailored uniforms, they'll still have like the bursting like buttons.
I feel like
and
in a
show off the
weird way,
pecs.
this has been designed so they could probably take the black shirt off and just have like the Geb bits, and then they're like free to like, you know, hammer their bits and pieces.
We wear some like cool straps underneath.
Probably.
Oh, I'm feeling some Rasha fan art, boys.
Hell yeah.
So, as you all assemble, wearing varying levels of fitting the theme you thought it was versus the actual theme versus just wearing whatever the heck you want, apparently. Carriage gets drawn up outside. You all kind of sit in and get pulled, and you are taken through Imond, through where you are in Outdoors Promenade, through the central district to the Cloudtop district, and you see that these houses are grander, nicer. Some of them still in a little state of disrepair, and you see that kind of, there are large kind of claw marks out of the walls that haven't been fully repaired yet, and the smell of kind of brimstone and burning fills your nostrils ever so slightly as you can see the smoke of the cinder scar off in the distance. However, you make your way towards the east side of the Cloudtop district, and there is a particularly large manor set with many small buildings around it, and space and greenery and shrubbery kind of surrounding this manor in a couple of areas. And your driver is stopped, and he kind of has a chat with one of the two well-armed, pristinely polished men outside, and you are brought in, passed through the gate. If you go on Roll20, you can have a look, to the 3-story mansion in front of you with various outcroppings outside. You can see a large church on the far left of the map. You can make out kind of a square building seemingly on the outside that you can see a red cross painted on. There seems to be a coach house that the bunch are dropped off that seems to go along with some stables. You can make out a slightly more military building on the top left. You probably can't see at the back there. And there's kind of various buildings and towards the right. However, the central part of this is an incredibly well presented, well lit, fairly brutally designed 3-story mansion, and the kind of vague tinkering of glasses, the sound of music being played, the laughter, that Jeff Bezos laugh, kind of making it way out of the out, and you see that there's kind of guards scattered around this place, and there's kind of a tinkering of water coming from the north east, which you presume might be a fountain or some kind of river straight in through the middle. And you look up at what you presume or what you believe to be Ascor's and the Galvadane's estate and home. I think if we're on Roll20, you can see where you guys are, and you've kind of been brought through this long stone path, kind of trees on the outside, and before entering through the side onto the vestibule, you are kind of stopped and kind of looked over, and one of the guards goes, "All right, welcome. Just so you know, if you have any magical enchantments, they're going to fail the second you walk through this door. I know there's some delicacy around that kind of thing, so anything you'd like to declare or anything we should be aware of that's going to change?"
Lance freezes, turns to the party and whispers to Hayden, "Hayden, I'm a whole ass zombie. Do you think I'm gonna fall over?"
Is it magic that makes you a zombie, or you just are a
What
zombie?
do you think? Of course it's magic.
Well, if you fall over, we'll catch you.
What will you put me back up again? What if this is the end of me? I just walked through this door and I'm just gone forever.
If we use healing magic
excuse me, what are you talking about?
I'm just so excited to be here. I just can't believe I'm in the house of Heinrich von Galverdane. I'm such a big fan. Wow.
He's worried he might faint because he's so excited to be in the house of Mr. Galverdane.
I'm a bit of a swooner, actually, yeah.
I see. Right. How would you like to be introduced?
Baku, Garns, Bug, and Baden.
No, it's Barnes Castello. Stop. That Garns is a terrible name. I'm not doing it.
Oh. Sorry. Anyway, the rest of us are Baku, Barnes, and Baden.
Once more, Garns, Gaku.
Baku, Barnes, and Baden. I mean,
as a group. I'm not introducing you one by one.
Oh. We're the
nice boys, aren't we? Are we the nice boys or the...
Oh, you're the ones who stopped that stop that flower thing earlier, right?
Right, the nice
Yeah,
boys.
yeah. That was us.
All right. You weren't one of them though, and he points at Zug. Don't I recognize you? Zug goes, no, absolutely not. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh
Could somebody...
shit, he's meant to be in disguise!
And could somebody roll a persuasion check for Zug, please?
Oh my god. Oh, I don't know what his modifier is.
Hold on, I usually have Zug handy.
Oh, bro,
Oh, nice.
we fucked it.
Hold on a second. What the fuck? Sorry, D&D Beyond has stopped responding. Hold on.
I can't believe
here
we've done this.
Zug. There you are, Zug. Okay.
You gone did it now.
Oh, Zug's
what did
proficiency's
you
only
roll?
a +1.
Yeah.
Let me just D20. That's a 9. Zug.
Kind of narrows his eyes. Right, well. Like whispers to the other one. Make your way in, if you don't mind. And
I'm gonna cling to Hayden's shoulder and just whisper, Hayden, if I die, to be honest, it's probably for the best. Don't mind me, just leave me. You'll be fine.
What? And he just kind of like,
Goodbye, Hayden. And he steps through the door.
I love the drama.
and you make a could you make a constitution saving throw for me, Barnes?
Really?
Oh my god.
Oh, yo.
Oh no.
Am I near Aku?
Mom?
Yes.
Oh my god, it's a natural one.
Oh no.
You do take 20 points of
Oh
necrotic
my
damage as you feel
God.
whatever magic is putting you together fade slightly, and you kind of do like a little cough and like a little weak, and you kind of look down, and the skin looks a little more wrinkled than when you walked in. And
Oh my god.
Yes.
They
Oh,
messed with his skincare routine?
he feels his hands desiccate and he's like, I'm so glad I'm wearing these gloves. Thank you, Archmage Mogwin, for your terrible fashion sense.
Alright.
Hayden kind of like pats Barnes on the shoulder. Are you okay? You look a little bit paler
No.
than normal.
No.
You need a, and he'll try to like support him so he like stops swaying.
Thank you, my boy. I got better, don't worry. And he's gonna stagger off forward, slightly
the rest of you,
dazed.
there's a well-dressed kind of slightly elderly man with a salt and pepper moustache and hair slicked back, wearing a very well presented tailor suit. May I take your looks at Aku. Not your coat. Is there anything I would like to deprive you of before you continue? Looks at each of you, kind of any of you are wearing anything you don't particularly want to be wearing in the party. Kaiku gives a nodding, approving look at Hayden as the only one appropriately dressed for the evening.
Hayden kind of adjusts his tie. No, I'm good.
Very well. The kind of talks to the guard. It's the nice boys, the heroes of the hour, and he kind of lets you in, and you walk into the Galvadane kind of main thoroughfare or room where you kind of walk in, and there's a hustle and bustle generally of crowd, low level, talking, slight laughing, and there are a couple of figures in this room that you instantly see and recognize, as I will walk you all in. So as you walk in, there is a slight pause in the conversation as people turn to see as the little bell is rung, and the man announces,
Ascor's
and
here.
the heroes of the day, those who saved many of you or some of you from that atrocious rot creature and the evil magics of Sophrena earlier. The nice boys. There's like a clap and a pause and a staring at each of you and lingers upon each of you, and Barnes gets a lot of look, and there's a, oh my, this is quite fashionable. I must say, very well presented, very, very
He
priestly.
twirls his hair.
Hayden is there's a little bit of people are respectful, looking down over this. What tailor did he use? I must be one. And there's a pause at Aku, and you hear there's a little bit of a, I say. Oh, Lorian's not on here. Holy shit, I've been messing up. Lorian, please go here. You should see everything now. Apologies, Lauren and Lauren. Zug, there's a little bit of. Is that new? Is that the fashion? I'm not sure. It seems to be you guys have won a certain level of respect, and what you guys are wearing may or may not become a fashion for a couple of days. Lorian, again, there's some people who are like, I think I recognize him. I've seen him about a couple of times. You shrink a little bit away. However, your outfit again is appreciated by many, and you are not immediately you are the focus of attention for a good couple of seconds before everybody bit self-absorbed gets back into what they were talking about. Looking around, the people you recognize in this room, Ascor is standing, kind of potentially Ascor, at least you guys don't know, standing, kind of talking to people opposite the vague description, Lorian, that you have given of Eloise Sunrule, the girl in the red dress. Far into the distance, however, you hear drinking buddy, and Grog makes his way running through the thing, grabs Hayden and Zug up in both his arms and kind of swings them around, and kind of oh my, as kind of a couple of people jump out the way, and he kind of like puts you both down and gives you both like little scratches on the head. That could you roll Hayden? Could you roll a strength saving throw for me?
Oh my god, I didn't think we were gonna see Grog again. This is so nice.
I'm so Grog hugs.
Oh, I rolled a 19. That's unusual for
Ooh.
me. And that's not even without his
19, yeah.
bonus.
As he kind of like, you manage to kind of, and he kind of drops you down. And he goes, "How have you been?"
Good. How have you been?
Oh, a bit bored. Places like this, I need to come to show face. Vax says so.
Oh,
Vex says so. But
yeah. Yeah, I feel the same. It's a bit awkward, isn't it? I don't really like making small talk with people.
how was that card?
Oh, I haven't used it.
Oh,
I don't know what to use it on. What would you
well,
use it on?
What does it do?
I don't know, actually.
It made someone else rich.
Did it?
Yeah.
So I could just like wish for money or something.
Maybe.
Is that like a waste though? I don't know.
Kind of like shrugs. Anyways, all right, I'm ready to drink. And Zug goes, I'm going to. And him and Zug kind of different bit off to the bar, which is through here.
Bye, Bug.
And I would say that
Yeah. Is it
Yes.
an open bar?
yes. So there is a the bar is here.
Important
They grab a
questions.
drink, and you see them kind of go around the corner here. So I have Zug standing on the
DM,
edge.
I
Yes.
must inquire. Is Mr. Bassett in attendance?
So who?
The
Is this-
Duke.
Is this Bridgerton?
The two.
Yeah.
I have never watched Bridgerton.
You need to get to know.
The Duke of Hastings, is he here?
No,
Duke. What? What's the point in this party if the Duke of Hastings isn't here?
I honestly don't know why I even bothered.
It's like, well.
Jamie, I'm leaving.
Are there any
Yeah,
other
I'm out.
handsome men in the room?
There are some handsome men. There is plenty of Habsburg chins, unfortunately. Looking around, you see certain clusters around Ascor, Eloise, and a particularly well-dressed, slightly. He looks to be about teenage, slightly higher. Bronze Dragonborn, who, Lorian, you recognize as being Alfred Edelburn Clear-Eyes, the son of the illustrious Master of Development, who is unseen. However, looking around, you notice there are many rooms off from here, to which there are seemingly more noises of kind of drinking and frolicky and chatting. You are told by the person who has introduced you that to your immediate right is the, let me get the map up, which I definitely should have, is the ballroom, where there is various dancing and chatting to be done. To the left is the library, which some people who wish to retreat for some light reading or to discuss matters of politics, philosophy, economics, PPE, those types. There is the drawing room for those who wish to relax, and to the top right there is the Great Hall, where the host is currently occupied. And whilst he understands that you wish to spend your time getting to know those of your admirers, at some point you should make yourself known to Heinrich, at which he is more than happy to make an introduction to whoever you so wish. However, I see that Lorian has already moved next to Eloise.
Which is probably where he'd be started.
Heinrich is the Lord, yes. As Lorian runs over, well, I presume Lorian and Heinrich, Eloise run over to each other, give each other a hug. Would you hug Eloise?
Well, I imagined that, like, because Lorian
Oh.
came earlier, he was probably already here talking to her.
Yes. Sorry, to
And
clarify,
like
you would
maybe
already be
maybe
talking.
he has her arm a little bit.
Yes. There's a little like Eloise is clearly those of you who are watching, Eloise is clearly a bit more PDA to Lorian than Lorian is. Lorian is clearly enjoying being at the event and talking. Seems to be enjoying Lorian's presence. And kind of laughing and talking. I will say we'll come to that in a second. So all of the D&D Boyband who are not Lorian or Zug, what are you up to? Do you and bear in mind Ascor is seemingly in attendance.
Boys, do we have a plan? I'm looking for Siegfried, right? That's what I'm up to. Is that correct? He kind of whispers down to the boys who are still nearby.
Yeah. Find Siegfried and get him to go to the brothel? Wait.
Right, yes, I am
yes.
doing that. I'm also playing music. I thought Lorian had organised me a performer's pass. I might just do it.
Do you know if Lorian's here yet? I don't see him anywhere.
No, me either. Do we see Lorian in the crowd?
Yes, standing relatively close to the door next to a
But do we
very finely
recognize
dressed-
Lorian?
Will they recognize Lorian?
Well, we can illustrate the the point here. Probably not. If you are looking over to the left, and obviously you will see a very sort of tall, handsome elf. He's sort of almost radiating a warm sunlight. There are leaves and petals falling out of his hair, seem to be growing and like kind of just consistently kind of like it's like there's a breeze going through the room, but it's not affecting anyone but him and his hair in like this sort of like shampoo advert fashion. Yeah, he has like a warm kind of glow around him, and for the first time, if you do recognize the bottom half of his face, you will see his eyes, and his eyes are a sort of like glowing sort of blood elf green. There's no pupils, they're just sort of kind of like very green and magical and piercing and kind of cheeky, but he seems very upright, he seems very established, and he has like a lovely young lady's arm in his, and I guess he's sort of like leaning towards the bar a bit, but like also kind of looking at the crowd, like over at you guys. Maybe sort of like he's seen you, but maybe you haven't seen him yet.
Okay. So, as I said, Lorian is. Would the party have an inkling it's you, or not really?
I mean, he probably.
Would you want them to roll?
I imagine he probably stands out from a lot of people here being like very obviously magical.
Yes.
So, like, but he's got like long hair and eyes, and is dressed really nice, whereas normally they would see him dressed kind of scruffy. So
I'll say it's not difficult, perhaps. It may take you a couple of pointing out, perhaps, to recognize that this is indeed Lorian. Orin seems to be what Lorian is choosing to present himself as.
Bond's eyes probably rest on him, and he probably does a low whistle and goes, "Damn, who the hell is that? That's quite a... Hold on, is that? No, it can't be. No way." And he's just gonna like stare quietly.
Lorian gives you a wink.
Oi,
There's
oi.
a little smirk.
Oy vey.
No.
He as if you guys are looking at him, he leans into the lady he's with and sort of like says something to her, and she probably looks over at you guys and nods, and then he kind of like,
Oh, well, that's our cue. Come on, folks. Let's go meet a lady. we'll head on over.
Yeah. See. Moving along.
Is Aku with us or is Aku at the bar?
Oh yeah, where has Aku gone?
Yeah, I
Uh,
was with you guys for now.
Cool.
Like,
Cool.
yeah.
Do we see Ascor here? The famous Ascor? Is he?
Yes, you
him?
do. Ascor is standing opposite. I mean, Luke might not be here right now, so we'll need to perhaps
See,
wait for him
As
to
we
get
walk
back.
past,
You 100% Ascor sees you and you see Ascor, so we will perhaps wait for Luke's reaction to as Lorian and Eloise beckon you over and you start walking, you pass the crowd where Ascor is, and how would you react?
Ascor.
Yeah. To seeing the
Well,
group.
Ascor, as you come over, has accosted, while sort of talking to a semi-captive audience, accosts a server and just continues to speak. He doesn't speak to the server, just sort of like clicks fingers, gestures over, and sort of pulls them a bit closer and stuff. And takes from
Yes,
the
sir.
plateau, just takes out a bottle of wine off of it. It's corked, of course, not screwed up.
Sorry,
And
should we need
he
to pull that for you?
shh, no, takes out his saber and shing, and rings the top of it off. And, a little bit of red wine. He's wearing white gloves, and a little bit gets on them. He sort of flicks it off. And sort of stops as he's speaking rather arrogantly to people who are probably pretending to enjoy what he's saying more than he really is. And he sort of looks to the group of you. And how is it you guys approach? Just walking past, or?
walking past, and like, that slow walk thing when you walk past someone, Barnes is trying to do the like, is that really Ascor kind of thing, like brief glance, assess if he's doppelganger. It's
Yeah,
kinda
generally
stares
Ascor's
him dead
a
in the
bit too
eye.
busy to notice you, and when you look at him, he doesn't maybe pauses for a little bit just because he sees someone staring at him, but otherwise doesn't pay much attention to you and carries on with his not as funny as he thinks story.
What's the vibe check? Like, would we get from this that that's our Ascor, or?
Because we know there's a doppelganger hanging about.
Right.
So
You can make insight check.
Thanks, Jamie. That's a total of 21. Is that our Ascor?
I don't know, DM, how does this work?
No, so I'm rolling. So I'm thinking. I think with the 21, it's uncanny. You're expecting to see Ascor at this party, and you're expecting to have someone who looks like Ascor. But with that Barnes, you're like, man, this doppelganger's a really good actor.
Oh, he's so
That's-
good at his job. Really impressive, actually.
do you say that to one of us, or
Yeah, he kind of mutters, looking at Ascor, like, good imitation, that. I wonder where the real one is.
kind of leans back to Barnes and says, "One of us is gonna have to go find him, I think."
Right, indeed. Is that your job? Whose job is that? Do we have jobs?
We didn't really plan before we came here.
No, We
It's
didn't
ki-
plan shit.
It's kind of a theme for the Nice Boys, isn't it?
Yeah,
Ro-
we never plan anything.
No. We do.
Talk to a young woman, I guess, and I'll go try sleep with Siegfried.
Okay. Sounds good. And Hayden will turn to the conversation that wait, do we recognize Lorian? I didn't catch that earlier. We do recognize that it's him, right?
He's given a wink, like the lower half of the face is the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hayden will kind of like look at Lorian and do that thing, like, when you meet someone like in the street and you're like, is that you? Is that you?
Oh my god, it's like at a con where someone changes wig, or
Yeah,
you see them
yeah,
without their
you're
wig
trying
at
to,
the
like,
end of the day.
recognize them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Okay. So Hayden is with Lorian and Eloise, correct?
Yeah.
Barnes, where are you going?
I was going with them. I think we were all walking over to Lorian. It was just sort of like passing observations on the way and conversations.
Well, good evening, fellas. Nice of you to join us.
Wow, don't you scrub off nicely.
Well, thank you very much. You might say it was a gift from my mother.
And that's where you return the compliment and tell us we look good as well.
Y'all look great. Nicely scrubbed up. Now, allow me to introduce to you my companion for this evening. She has been so eager to meet y'all. This is Ms. Eloise Galverdine.
It's lovely to meet you. Yes, Eloise. And she kind of curtsies a little bit.
A charmed and honoured to meet Galverdane. How exciting for us.
And she kind of puts her hands out to shake each of yours.
I will kiss the back of her hand.
Oh, a gentleman.
Hayden kind of like
bring one of those.
stiffly shakes her hand. Very
I like your
awkwardly and then-
lapel. Is that Roswella? Is that
Uh,
Luxem?
yeah.
I'm saying odd to find a follower so far away.
It was a gift from a friend.
A friend?
Yep.
Friend?
His father, actually.
That's
Oh.
my
oh.
fault. It's not my father.
Yeah, I told you they were strange folk. You have nothing to be nervous about around these guys. They're
Do I look like I'm a drow? I don't even look like. Okay. I know I've got
No, I'm
pointy
sorry,
ears.
I
but...
didn't mean to offend you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I'm
there's
I
nothing
didn't
wrong with being a
realize.
drow. I just mean like, he's not my dad.
You're so defensive. Do you know he didn't even deny it?
What? What?
I know.
What?
It would break his heart if he heard you denying it like this.
Oh. And he kind of like contemplates that and goes quiet.
But Hayden doth protest too much.
I'm so glad you've all chosen to attend. Thank you, Lauren. My father is so looking forward to meeting all of you. It's gonna be wonderful that I got him here. It's great. He's very grateful. Obviously, he wasn't in too much danger, but you saved him. You saved him. And it's just fantastic that you're just here. I'm very pleased.
Far be it from us to let Heinrich von Galberdane himself fall to the machinations of evil and magic. We couldn't help but step in and protect him.
Yeah. What he said.
We were very brave, and I heard Lorian here, and he kind of puts her hands on his arms. Thought too. I didn't know you were a fighter.
You must have been mistaken. I was not there. I was minding my own business somewhere completely different.
He's more like a support service for us. He's been a real good friend to us in the last while.
You know
That's
me.
funny. Some of my favorite people are servants.
I'm so happy to hear that for them. How lucky they are to have your esteem.
Now y'all mentioned that you were friends with the and he sort of like gestures over to Ascor showboating over there. You got nothing to say or introduce your friend?
Oh, well, I'm sure Ascor
You're
will.
friends of Ascor. Oh, friends of Ascor?
So
Ascor has
I've
friends.
heard Ascor has friends.
Yep.
Apparently.
Oh, a
Oh,
whole.
no, he's gonna. No, he's no. I need to introduce you. Please, can I introduce you? Not him. Please, me. Yes, good.
Oh, to your father?
Yes, of course.
Sure, why not?
You not getting along with him, having a little sibling fight.
Oh no, he's
Rival-
fine. This was my idea for you to come here.
And I see that you managed to find appropriate attire in time. How interesting.
Yeah. Seems we got some wires crossed earlier about the theme, but managed to sort that out.
Glad to see it.
I'm glad you all brought a splash of colour to the event. And you look around, and lots of people are wearing similar outfits to, not quite as perhaps nice or as chic as Hayden, but there's lots of, black tie. And those of you not wearing black and white, you stand out a little bit. With Lorian is obviously a bit more on the the finer end,
Barnes sort of,
standing
like,
out there,
adjusts his
and
glittering
Barnes
gold
is like
pulls in.
red, and these robes, and
Oh.
Zug is Grog's not exactly wearing black tie either, so Zug and Grog look at least like they are a pair. As it were.
Aku looks completely oblivious
Aku
to
looks-
any stares
Yeah.
or anyone questioning his outfit. He looks ignorant, but I think probably the boy band know that he's being willfully ignorant rather than not being aware of the stares.
Barnes probably winks at anyone who looks his way and maybe flashes a ruby, turns in a way that the light hits them slightly.
Enjoying the attention. So it's welcome if you. Is there anyone you'd like to meet? Is there anyone you can shoot?
I'd
Perhaps
heard
we
it a
could just
lot.
mooch around and avoid the clear eyes hatchling who seems to be hovering.
Oh, it can be a little bore sometimes.
Mm.
That's totally fine. Sorry, you. Gons? Was it Buns? What did you say it was, Lorian?
Barnes Castello.
Oh, Garns Castello.
That's not my name. It's Barnes with a B.
Secret identity. Aren't they normally different? Really different from your name?
Right, that's why I thought it wasn't a very good one, so I decided to abandon it altogether.
Right, I see.
No, I'd be quite excited to meet your brother Siegfried. I've heard a lot about him. I thought we might have a bit in common.
Her face drops a little bit. He's
Oh,
him and Alpharis are buried in notes. I think in the Great Hall. I could introduce you whether you spent any time is another matter.
what's that reaction for? Is he more boring than I've heard?
Oh, he's not boring. It's just that he really has only one thing on his mind, and sorry, thank you. So he has one thing on his mind. I'm sure he and Alpharis want to talk to you about it or anything.
What
Maybe
is
they need
that
help.
one
Maybe
thing?
you could be helpful. Oh, he's convinced, utterly convinced that there is something at the bottom of the Cinder Scar that needs to find, one of those eggs Awful Dragon was cultivating or some secret. The new wealth for the family. I mean, we're rich enough as it is, so never quite enough.
That does sound interesting. And, like, insight check, does she seem to like her brother, or is she saying any of this with a hint of
Yeah, go for it.
Ah, Pog. That's another 21.
21.
Wait, 22, sorry.
There's respect. There's boredom. A tiny hint of fear.
Very interesting. Well, I suppose after we've met your father, then I'll try have a conversation with him, see if I can help him.
Oh yes, I must introduce you absolutely. If you plan on gathering up, I can bring it.
Right
If you
now?
want to mingle a bit first, I'll be. The night is long. It is young. Take as long as you like. I'm enjoying my company here. She kind of smiles at Lorian.
I bet she does.
You guys go Sonic for me as well when my thing freezes, and her speaking at like hyper speed was like intense.
Company here, Lorian. Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
Jamie, so you mentioned earlier that there is a dragonborn here.
Yes.
How common is it for us to come across dragonborn? Are they
Pretty
a very
common.
rare race?
Yeah, especially the destruction of Draconia happened about 10 years ago. Ever since then, Dragonborn have become a lot more ubiquitous throughout many cities that they've all kind of relocated away from their island home. I would say Hayden is also socially aware enough to know that there is a big difference between Dragonborn that do and don't have tails. More of the ones that didn't used to have tails used to essentially be the slave caste, and those that do have tails were the rulers, and there is absolute hatred between the two different not sub races, but even though the younger ones, because the tails were clipped as part of that culture, the younger children of the previous slave caste are now growing up with tails. They still ceremoniously remove them as a sign of their heritage.
Okay. Okay. And do we have any sight on where Siegfried is in the room?
Siegfried is not in this room, as
The
far as you
library,
can see.
right?
No, Siegfried is in the Great Hall.
Hayden's gonna nudge Barnes and say,
Is this
In
Ascor's?
the great hall, doing great things.
Uh-oh.
What?
I went fast.
So
Say
there
that
are
again,
Sorry.
Luke? We didn't hear you.
I said in the great hall, doing great things.
so you have been told that
sorry.
Siegfried, Heinrich are both in the Great Hall.
Okay.
I went Sonic. This Dragonborn, is he the guy that we were told about that was Ascor's childhood friend? Do we know
Yes, this is Ascor's childhood friend.
that? Okay.
And you also it's the child of the Master of Development, who is one of Ascor's father's key allies in the election and is on the tal'dorei Council.
Does
It's
he
so
seem-
great to finally know about my backstory.
Does
Sorry, I should have mentioned.
Does he seem to be talking to Ascor or like hanging around him?
Not currently. He's off in the north at the moment. With Asgore down in the south.
Okay. Hmm. All right, gentlemen. Well, what do you think? What do you want to do?
Well, y'all seem a little nervous, so how about I get everyone some drinks? Miss Eloise, would you like something? A refreshment?
That's the thing. I think if your friend's got some over there, you see Zug and Grog kind of chinking massive ales and starting to go down. But yeah, whatever you're having, Lorraine.
Allow me. And he will move past her, and as he goes, he will put a hand on Hayden's back and lean into his ear, and you kind of can smell how like sweet the flowers are, and like how like fresh all of the greenery in his hair is, and his skin kind of feels warm, like the sun is kind of casting on your skin on like a nice summer's day. And he says, "Can I get you anything?"
A double, triple, a triple.
I see.
Yeah,
And he goes over to the bar to order some drinks for everyone.
thanks. And Hayden kind of glances surreptitiously at Aku before very quickly shuffling away to go speak to the Ascor doppelganger.
I can't believe Hayden was so freaked out. He started talking to Ascor.
Hans just snorts and just looks at Akko and says, "Man, that boy."
Every one of you is presented with a drink by Lorraine, as well as there are multiple waiters and waitresses moving their way through, presenting you with various small canapes, small sandwiches, various hot food prepared, and they seem to be appearing in and out of the back side of the thing. You would imagine that there's either a kitchen or a pathway to a kitchen on the north side of this manor. As you're all kind of presented with drinks that Lorraine has brought, you, Hayden at least, walks up to the Ascor doppelganger? Question mark. Hayden.
So, long time no see. Haha. He's trying to like suss out.
Ascor's probably actually in the middle of a conversation right then and there as you're speaking. Do you wait for like a lull, or do you like just kind of say it?
I interrupt. I've got no social graces.
Oh, in that case, Ascor's just like, and so after he said he was going to unionize, I knew it was over for him. And then you just kind of interrupt, and Ascor's like, "Hello."
Hi. Good to see you.
Yes, well, thank you to coming to my father's soiree. It's thank you. You are?
A fan.
Happen. I don't know the name.
I'm a fan.
Where's that from?
I'm a fan.
A fan.
Yeah. I really admire your policies.
Listen, perhaps we went to Roundshield together? Is that your family name?
Yeah. Yep. Went to Roundshield.
Oh, well. Welcome. I'm sorry. What does your father do?
He's
He's an archmage.
He's an archmage
He's a
in
chronomancer.
no, I don't say that because they hate magic.
Oh my god! You just said that. You just said that.
He's a clockmaker. He makes expensive
Clockmaker.
clocks for very affluent families.
I feel Luke's been waiting for a year and 2 years at this moment to not know the party and be condescending.
An artisan. That is
Yeah, very lucrative
noble.
business. Yeah.
Yes, I imagine it is. Yes. Go. Impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you, Affin.
Yeah.
Yes, if you wouldn't mind bringing us another glass of champagne.
Yeah, sure. And He turns and walks away and doesn't bring champagne.
You go back to the group.
Yeah, and I mutter to them, yeah, that's definitely not Ascor.
And
It's
with
good, isn't it?
So weird.
Perhaps-
He didn't know who I was.
perhaps that revelation, thinking vaguely at the time, we would take a, and you guys are about to be introduced to Heinrich and Siegfried. We will take a very short 5. Let's say everyone try to be back by 25 2. And yeah, the party will continue. You will ingratiate yourself to the again, has not Val. Why can I not say this word anymore? Von Galverdane household, and
Because you're not a
work
noble.
out perhaps where Ascor is. Everybody, see you in a bit.
See you in
Thanks
5
for
minutes.
watching.
Bye.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are still waiting for a Mr. Ascor von Galverdane with many middle names.
Shall
However,
return.
everybody else, the group have spent their time arriving at the party, doing their various little tidbits beforehand, and are now at the party, drinking, being merry, and getting ready to be introduced to Ascor's extended family. D&D Boyband, I will throw it back to you. I believe you were Hayden was reconvening with the group, saying that Ascor is clearly a doppelganger who does not recognize Hayden. What would everybody else like to be getting on with or doing? You are currently standing around the bar with Lorien and Eloise, and the rest of everybody. And Zug is drinking with Grog and occasionally having arm wrestling matches. And unfortunately, Zug, despite being pretty beefy, seems to be losing the majority of them.
Aww.
Ooh.
But only that only makes Zug want to try harder.
Aw.
Zug is Goku.
You know, to be honest, Hayden, I don't think even the real Ascor recognizes us some days. I think he just doesn't really see us as people half the time.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it could just be him being an asshole, or it could be because he's not Ascor.
I consider myself a good judge of people, and I'm pretty sure it's a fake, if a very good one at that.
Even if it is the real Ascor, would you not consider this a blessing in disguise that he has decided to disown you as friends, and therefore you have no more further obligations to be around him anymore?
I mean,
Find him fascinating.
it's like kind of like a sunk cost fallacy, you know? Like, we put so much effort into keeping him alive and hanging out with him that he just ditches us now. It's kind of like, why did we do all that for?
It feels like a real project, you know. I just see somebody with all these problems that he has, and I just want to fix them, you know.
You kind of do that for all of us, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I see something like that, I just can't help it. I just have to meddle.
How do we figure out if he's the real one?
Honestly. Actually, DM, the entering and magic thing, does that feel like that effect extends throughout the entire house or just at the checkpoint?
You feel vaguely sick, but it's cleared since you walk past the checkpoint.
Okay. Well,
By the way, are
Hayden,
you guys openly talking about Ascor being a doppelganger in front of his sister?
quietly.
Fuck.
Oh.
No, we've been like whispering in each other's
to the
ears.
side. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I will assume for now you're attempting to whisper away unless you are being very obvious that Eloise is supposed to listen.
We were not
Maybe
trying to
to-
D&D
be.
group.
To Eloise's eyes, Barnes is leaning down slightly and whispering into Hayden's ear, and occasionally they're laughing about something slightly as they discuss
Yeah.
how shit Ascor is.
They're so secretive.
I,
Florian.
I promise you, they have nothing important to say.
We're like
Wow.
schoolgirls, sorry, we can't help ourselves.
Kind of like giggling and like glancing over her shoulder at like Aku, not Aku, Ascor.
No, but Hayden, really, I could try reading his thoughts. That might clear it up quickly.
Well, can you? Because it's like no magic. And...
Well, so I feel better now. I'm not continually swooning, so chances are I could give it a go, but if there are people watching out for it, it'll be a real problem.
Well, I guess you could give it a try. If you swoon, you could fall into Lorien. He's very strong. I've got no upper body strength. You wouldn't want to swoon into.
Are you sure? Not even a little one.
I mean, you could try, but like
Just a small swoon.
I think I'd accidentally drop you.
Oh, you wound me. No, all right. I think we
would
need to
wound
figure
you.
out. We need to
Sorry.
figure out. Oh, you hurt me. You're full of hurt. You're a cruel man, Hayden. Aku should watch out. No, but really, I
How'd
take
you
it.
hear that?
I don't know. What's his passive perception? Maybe.
Yeah, I'd say Barnes probably raised his voice for that bit.
Yeah.
Not that I'm just like role-playing your character for you, Claire. There was a lull in the conversation. Carried.
No, but really, anyway, we should figure out if magic is something that we can get away with, what protections they have. Maybe we should ask Eloise.
Yes, hello, yes.
So, given the attack, you must have measures at the party today to prevent people from willy-nilly casting magic or invading, is that correct? How
Oh,
safe are we here?
Of course, but there's a dampening effect to check for intruders, but anybody who has magic in the vicinity of this place will immediately be alerted.
Oh,
Big
right.
red flashing light above their head.
Wow, really? Is she being serious?
Yes.
Oh god.
Oh, glad I asked. I feel so much better knowing that, guys, that we really... Yep, magic is really obvious to everybody here.
Lorian is like looking at Barnes with like a sort of like smile as though he heard everything that Hayden and Barnes were talking about and was really, really hoping that Barnes was going to cast some magic.
Disappointment.
Disappointment.
Well then,
Why delay the inevitable?
Right, maybe we should just
After
go...
that introduction.
Right, let's do it.
Oh, you ready to go? Wonderful. Did you say you knew my brother? I could let him know, but he doesn't need to know. He kind of like she kind of moves over and takes you over, and as she walks past, Alfred gives kind of a nod to Lorian, seemingly knowing or aware. And you walk into the Great Hall. Which you should all be now in once I move Aku. And again, there's kind of, various tables set up in a bit of a half circle round and a high table there. And you see each of these seems to be full of food and kind of a bit of a grazing table, along with waiters kind of working all the way around. And you see three figures currently sit engaged in conversation at the high table. And off to the left, you see two again, sitting down, kind of poring over maps. The two on the side, you recognize one of them being Siegfried, the older brother of Ascor and Eloise, sitting next to a blue dragonborn, kind of poring over various maps, kind of drawing at the side, kind of doing that. The three at the top, you see the older, presumably Master of Development, who's the older bronze dragonborn. You see the man you saw previous day, Heinrich, earlier in the day, Heinrich, and you see an older woman in a pretty similar, if slightly more modest and flowy dress than Eloise, which you presume perhaps is the Ascor's mother. Duchess Ludmilla Amelia Gertrude Moretti von Romanoff, I believe is the full name. You've been told.
Pronunciation's a bit iffy, but yeah.
That's fine. I will try again at some point, I'm sure. And as you are kind of presenting Eloise, runs up and goes, Father, if you don't mind, the heroes of the hour, as you requested, kind of turns around, kind of spinning, and Heinrich kind of gazes up at you, each of you, and stands up and meets each of your eyes and nods. Thank you, Eloise. Don't mind. Welcome, the rest of you, to my home. I hope you've made yourself comfortable. You've done a great service to myself and Mon earlier. I would thank you.
You have no need to thank us. We're only doing what any admirer of yours would do.
Yep. Yep.
Well.
What he said.
Well, nonetheless.
And can I just say the music is perfect.
No, this is it. This is Erin. This is not me.
Erin, you're killing it.
Love you, Luke.
Well, it is humbling to know that one has admirers such ability, presence of mind, constitution. You saved a great many people today. And I know it was you, rather than her. So, if there is ever anything that with myself or my estate that you need or have call of, please. I do not like to be in debt.
And we shall certainly come calling. Thank you for your reciprocity.
What he said.
Presence here alone,
Or
as I'm sure
sorry,
you're aware.
yeah,
Sorry, go on. No, Ascor, go
go
on.
ahead.
Your presence here alone, as I'm sure.
Ascor, yeah,
Sorry.
go for it. Go for it.
No. I was just confused. I would prefer you to go.
Is listening. We are listening. we are
Ascor's walked
learning.
in. I'll
Go
say you're
ahead,
following.
DM.
Yeah. No. Ascor, I'm sure you've walked in as well, so you can go.
Oh, sorry. Wait. What? Sorry. What part of the room? Which
So
side?
you guys they've gone into the Great Hall. Moved out of the main room.
Right. And no one's in the Great Hall.
No. So that you've moved from kind of the entrance area where Grog, Zug, Alfred, and Ascor were, into the Great Hall, which has Siegfried, an unknown Blue Dragonborn, Blood Miller, Heinrich, and presumably the Master of Development.
And a party, just loads of unknowns as well, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Very good. Very good. In that case,
Edelbrand,
Ascor in that case does, at those words, go, well, isn't that just fine then? In that case, it seems only appropriate.
It's
Sorry.
at this point,
Alfred.
Hydra kind of
Sorry
looks
to
at
do
you. Looks at you strangely, as if he's not expecting the insight, not expecting Ascor to experience. Ascor, do you something to contribute, perhaps?
And Ascor turns to the room at large and goes, well, if it couldn't be a feast or a party without heroes, in that, I declare a toast to, what did you call yourselves again?
The nice boys.
Nice boys.
The nice
Friendly.
boys. Bravo. The nice boys.
Nice boys, and there a general call out as everybody toasts. You don't drink to your own toast, which is rude. So which of you drinks?
Me, I don't understand these social.
Aku.
Yeah, there's like a
Hans
mate
doesn't
staring
drink
at the people who
instead.
drink to their own toast. Eric lowers his glass and looks at Ascor. Looks back to each of you. Your mere presence here inspires confidence. My ability, and I thank you for it. Please, I have labored long and hard for what I have, and I would share it with those who deserve.
I'm so glad that you consider us to be deserving.
Certainly for this evening.
We're most gracious for the endorsement.
And I am grateful for your presence and your ability today. Tell me, what drawn you to Amon in this rally? I know that some of you are not natives here.
Oh, well, I can personally only speak for myself, but I'm a wandering minstrel from Vasselheim. I've sort of been travelling here and there, getting a sense for the land, and I just heard story of this great political accumulation in Amon. I just knew I had to be part of it, and upon seeing you speak a few days ago, I was really quite taken with your message. Truly, to strive for what you have, that is the mark of a great man.
Thank you. Vasselheim is a lovely place. I've been several times.
Great, so great.
What exactly did you say you were from in Vasselheim?
Where in Vasselheim? Oh, do you know the outer districts? And he quickly thinks back to what Silfrena was talking about earlier in his speech. Thankfully we weren't affected by, the incursion with you-know-whose forces. We were lucky enough to escape, and unfortunately I'd been living in its shadow ever since.
I understand that some enterprising individuals are carving out much of the lower half of the Titan the dwellings out of.
Indeed, it's pretty incredible. It makes me quite nervous, such a titanic thing. But what about the rest of you? Don't be shy.
I'm from a small town, and I come to Amon sometimes for work. That's all you need to know about me. What about you? And he like elbows Aku to talk, completely forgetting that Aku cannot talk.
Aku
Wonderfully.
just
Sorry.
slowly.
Before Aku says it, wonderfully vague, and then looks over to Aku.
As Hayden says that, Aku just very slowly turns to Hayden with a very questioning look on his face.
Oh,
Turns back,
he
gestures to his neck, and shrugs.
he's the strong silent type, you know. He's got war wounds from fighting noble battles.
It's the most incredible
In the
hero.
war.
Aku gives Hayden a very flat look.
And he kind of looks back nervously at Aku. It's like, fucking know what to say.
Honestly, you must measure him, Baden, by his actions, both today and in the past. They've earned him these wounds that really mark him out as a man of exemplary honor. And this Heinrich's a religious guy, right?
You've heard from Ascor that he is, yeah.
And piety, yes.
Yeah, what he said.
Devotion to his cause and his god.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize for your injury. It looks severe, says Aku. Not really expecting a response.
Yep, Aku's like, yep.
I myself have never been much of a fighter. And clearly, the rest of you are awful liars.
What?
Now that's something I've never been accused of.
What are you talking about?
Some of you are awful liars. And he kind of beckons you in at this point. But it doesn't matter. You are here. As far as I'm concerned, that aids me enough. Enjoy yourselves. Don't go snooping where you are not allowed. We will have no quarrel. Am I understood?
Well, now you said that, Jamie. I'm getting a feeling that I want to go snooping. Thanks.
Same though.
I'm sorry, it's just platitudes or a threat, because we seem to have switched course fairly rapidly, sir.
Is it a threat to ask that boundaries are restricted?
No, I suppose it isn't.
No. It is merely informing people of the consequences of actions. That's all right, Hayden. You would do well to report to the ballroom. I believe there is someone there who wishes to see you.
Did he just call him Hayden, or was that supposed to?
Yes.
Was he meant to call him?
No, he was meant to
Baku?
call him Hayden.
Someone to see me? Yeah, okay. Yep. Hayden's gonna try to step back from the group and see if he can out the room.
You will attempt to see Hayden leave.
Before Hayden leaves, Hayden will hear, "Are you expecting someone? What's this about?"
Hayden just kind of glances back at Aku and like shakes his head and kind of shrugs and out.
An awful wound you sustained there. Distinctive, however. I understood you were traveling with my son.
Oh fuck!
Oh no!
I received a report from the Silvercut Crossroads.
My bad,
I hope what I
guys.
read in it was mostly untrue. You can answer a yes or no question. Was it true?
Can you repeat the question?
Was what the report he read from the Silvergut Crossroads true or false?
I mean,
I would say, sorry, Luke, are you there?
Indeed.
Okay, cool, that's fine, because he's about to ask a question you might want to know the answer to. Aku, sorry. Was it true or false?
like, he doesn't explain what
The report he
said.
read. Yeah, absolutely. He says that. So
I
you can
mean,
shrug or whatever.
Aku like side-eyes Barnes, and Lorian's not here, or is here?
Lorian
Lorien-
spent the entire time that you guys were meeting Heinrich von Kalverdane slipping through the crowd to watch you guys from the back of the room, and is sort of like, not like leaving, but he's like keeping an eye on where Hayden's going and sort of like trying to distance himself.
Silvercut Crossroads. When was this supposed to have been? Aku and I have been sailing the coasts for years in our journeys together.
Make
He
a
feigns like
deception.
a confused look.
You can make a
and
deception
shrugs.
check, Barnes.
Great. Okay, Pog. That is a total of 30.
Looks at you. Looks back at Aku. So, that said, I don't know. Because you can't know. Correct?
Aku nods, I guess.
Right.
He's like still feigning like complete confusion.
Do you know the do you know the location of my son at this precise moment?
Bonds just like turns
I-
around and looks at Siegfried.
I mean,
Very, very, very astute of you. I know you're not stupid. And please do not take me for a fool.
I just
I
feel
mean-
like I'm missing something here.
Aku like looks to Ascor standing like right next to everyone, and looks back to Heinrich and is like,
Aku can make a deception check. So Ascor, that might answer one of your questions.
Thumb up.
"That's a natural 20 DM,
Good funny.
28."
Very well.
Oh my god, Bonds and
I'm
Aku
sure you-
bullshitting out
Yeah,
of their asses
sure-
right now.
Very well. I apologize for the intrusion. You understand that in my position, I hear a lot of reports. And I needed to be sure that each of you were not going to sink me in some way.
Can we help you find your son if he's... his eyes go to Siegfried and then to Ascor. Missing? Question mark?
No, I have the best help that money can buy.
Right. Well, I can't imagine they're very far.
Does Barnes say that?
Is there a silence in the crowd as he says that?
No, this is whispering at this point. I think you gotta move forward. But Eloise is like, go back to Laura and it's like, I think that went well. I think Father's pleased. Is he pleased? Can you tell? I can never tell.
His ears are twitching because he can probably
Erin.
definitely hear what they're talking about at the other end of the room. And as Bond says that, he's like,
I mean, Clued couldn't say it with a straight face, but Bonds is completely deadpan in earnest.
Quite.
swimmingly.
Well. Welcome. I must, however, get back to the election and the plans we have for the city once it is done. Please enjoy yourselves. And thank you again for today.
You're so welcome. Glad we got
It's-
to know each other better.
Somehow you have deceived Odin that you do not know what Ascor is, despite numerous eyewitness accounts to the contrary.
Don't even need to fucking talk to like deceive the shit out of this guy.
However, Ascor, those of you with higher perception may notice that a certain Ascor may have been spending some time attempting to listen in to a conversation rather than necessarily focused on the one he is having. However, Siegfried, on the side, completely uninterested in anything that is happening other than talking to his blue dragonborn friend, who Lorien recognizes as Alfraxus. What are you
Yeah.
guys doing?
I
As
guess
Hayden,
it's-
Hayden leaves the room and begins to walk towards the ballroom.
I guess as Barnes and Aku walk away from him, Barnes like keeps it in for a little while. Maybe they get to the edge of the door, and he just like breaks down.
But,
and just-
sorry, are you walking out of this room with Siegfried in, or are you walking somewhere else?
No, just to the edge of the door, just to like regroup, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Just kind of nudge him, just like breaks out into laughter. It's like, you know, back turned to Heinrich, who doesn't see anything. He's like, "Oh my god, you actually think he bought that? That is so funny."
I don't know how, but yes. And Aku just like snorts out loud, like really loudly, just from his nose, like.
Nicely done, man. And yeah, just irreverently enjoying himself. All right, I suppose I better go work on Siegfried and see if there's anything to get there. I'm a bit worried about Hayden. What about you?
Godspeed. I'll go find Hayden. He can't be far.
All right, I'll rejoin with you later.
Hayden, we'll talk about what happens once you leave the room. Everybody else? Hayden, you leave the room and you walk towards the ballroom. And suddenly, as you walk past Zug, you kind of wave for a second, and each step grows ever so slightly heavier as your eyelids begin to droop.
Oh.
Kind of take one sip of the drink to stop, and then it kind of falls out your hand and clatters, and there's a little bit of a couple of people taking around you, and there's a familiar kind of word as, "Come on, Hayden, you're going to pass out." As you look up and you see the red jeweled eye, blonde hair of Spiling Shen, pick you up and seemingly walk you to the exit, and the door shuts behind you.
As Shen manhandles Hayden, he's gonna say, "Oh, for fuck's sake."
And Hayden, we are going to keep you there for now. However, you are to the stream, perhaps over here.
Yep.
As you fail the Constitution checked earlier with a 16.
Why are you poisoning me?
The rest of you, however, you're all still in the Great Hall. That includes Ascor and Eloise. What are your plans? Who is doing what? Including, I know someone said they were going to go look for Hayden.
Yeah, I mean, Aku's. I mean, he was probably distracted by Barnes having a laugh, but a short while after, he would kind of walk through the reception and the halls to see where he was. I mean, he's not going to speak to anyone, but he would be having a look around and potentially grab a drink from the bar on his way.
Okay, so we'll keep Aku separate for now. The rest of you in the Great Hall with Heinrich and Siegfried.
I was just gonna say, Lorien being at the door, and hearing what Heinrich said, would have probably listened and tried to look from the door where Hayden went and to.
Yep, you can
kind of
absolutely.
followed him, but he'd like to.
You can
just-
make a perception check for me.
I'll make a perception check. Oh boy. I rolled a 2, so that's a 17.
Me. You notice that Hayden stops at the entrance to the hall, seems to be joined by two figures, and exits out the main door.
Hmm. Lean into Aku if he's nearby. Everybody here's got a lot more friends than they've been letting on, especially for people who've been traveling away for a while.
Aku kind of looks at Lorien and says, I mean, we've been getting around. We've been together for some time. I don't know what you're already saying, Lorien.
To be blunt, it seems like your friend might be in some trouble there.
Which friend?
He just sort of like turns to look at where Hayden left.
Well, Yes, but I'm on my way to find him. I asked him. He isn't expecting anyone. I really can't imagine who would be. And he's kind of like uncharacteristically like rambling a bit, like inside of Lorian's head. He's clearly very minorly worried on the outside about Hayden, which is a bit unusual, but I don't think he seems too bothered. Like, he probably imagines that Hayden's either gonna go find some drugs or get drunk, so.
Well, if it helps, they went out that door there, and Lorian points to sort of where he saw them head out to Aku.
Aka gives him a friendly nudge and walks off.
Yeah, I would say Aku goes to the bar, gets a drink, and then goes to pursue Hayden out the door. Rest of you. What are you up to?
I'm going to approach Siegfried and his blue dragonborn.
Okay. Are you just approaching to say hi? Are you approaching to listen in? Or
I'll hover around. I suppose maybe make light conversation in the vicinity and try do a little spy, see if I can catch on to some points that they're talking about, maybe some
Yeah.
problems they're having.
make a perception check.
Perception check. Oh, that's non-natural 20.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry to hear your hair. See if you. It's frustrating. Why does the water keep coming in? Why does the fire keep coming in? It's ridiculous. Because says, well, we're trying to clear it up, and there's a. I don't know exactly what Vordak did, but planes mesh together in some way and separating them out and creating a safe passage down lower is not exactly the most effective. So he's like, we should blow it up or dig around it. Dax says, well, you could certainly try. We just don't know what's happened in the surrounding area. There's a decent discussion about how to seemingly get deeper than where the tunnels currently go. And it's all the maps are kind of, these are the furthest point down we've got.
All right, then I'll approach the table and say, good evening, gentlemen. What a serious conversation you appear to be having.
Both of them look up and Arflex just kind of moves a second back, but Security Santa. Yes. Hello. Kind of very fake smile plastered on.
Don't worry, you don't need to put it on. I assure you what you were talking about is far more interesting than me. But would you say you're in need of help getting down there?
Look at each other, look back at you. I didn't, nor did my father, get where we are by ignoring expert advice, if you have to give it.
Well, it's more that I'm part of a group that saved, I believe, your life as well earlier today. And I'm just sort of thinking that perhaps our services as decorated and skilled adventurers and people of power might make us the perfect folk to help you out with your problem. Of course, we'd have to talk about specifics, but...
Unfortunately, if all you're offering is skilled fighters?
No, far more than that. Access to vast amounts of knowledge.
I don't mean to be diminishing, but Vox Machina have attempted to get deeper in these tunnels and have failed. Do you think you could succeed?
I don't believe that Vox Machina have connections in the places that we do. I have some friends in a foreign country that have a certain expertise in all manner of underground, I suppose. Sort of a de facto of their history, so...
Yeah. Look at practice. Rafax just kind of shrugs. And maybe hear him out. What harm can it do? Anyway, Siegfried, that's your acquaintance. And he kind of puts his hand forward and you shake it. And it is oddly wet.
Oddly wet?
Yeah.
What? Why is his hand wet?
Man, be moist.
Oi,
Yo, that's
Could you make
gross.
could you make a wisdom saving throw for me?
And a constitution
Oh.
check.
oi.
Wash
A
your
wisdom
hands.
save?
Jesus.
That's a 17.
Okay. It's fine. You're good.
You know, you don't have to shake hands.
Could you roll a
if you don't want
d6
to.
for me?
A D6? Fucking hell, baby. 3.
Yo.
Ascor, what happens on a d6 on your table?
Oh shit, my table. That still exists.
Oh.
Oh boy. Oh jeez.
What's
I think
going
it
on?
got wiped with my hard drive, that table, but I can tell
Okay.
you when I remember.
Hans, it's odd. You've never had this feeling before. but there is almost you kind of move around, look around for a second. As you actually, there's always like a looming presence behind you. And you look around, as if it's spooked, and you look around, there's nothing. And you look back to Siegfried, and there seems to be nothing there, but you can't help but feel that there's this like larger presence behind you.
Oh. Huh. Well, let's elaborate then. What can I help you with? What are your problems?
It's very simple. The further we go down the tunnel, the more the various planes are combined. I don't know if you've ever been in a fire hurricane or fastly evaporating steam as lava meets water, but every single thing we go down, his Thordak has warped the very earth beneath our feet. And while I am willing to spend lives to get down there, it seems it's incalculable cost.
I see. And what is it you're trying to achieve down there? Is it a matter of building? Is it a excavation?
Absolutely, excavation. We know those eggs were destroyed. Stupid. Incredibly valuable. There must be more. I know there are more.
Oh, it's dragon eggs you're looking for.
Dragon eggs, metal, fire elemental plane, whatever has snuck its way through during Thordak's vile incorporation.
Riches and
It's
spoils.
how I will make my name.
I
will outdo that one and my father. So Ascor.
I see. All right. Then perhaps we should send down an expedition. How can I get in contact with you? Maybe we'll need to talk about this in more detail.
I'm sorry, you are merely offering an expedition? We tried.
Well, no. I mean, we're bringing different skills than what you'll have sent down there. I'm just trying to offer help. And if I'm misplaced, then I'm so terribly sorry. I'm really just trying to do my best for you.
It's under my authority, and our flax is here to send whoever we want down there. Go down there, go further than anyone else has, survive, come back, we'll talk.
See. All right, well. Is this all you spend your time on? What? Sorry, we've spoken only about business, and I'm just gonna try like ice break, just try and slide past the standoffish.
Yeah, absolutely. Make a. I'll say this is persuasion. You can have your fucking you roll a 2 and you roll a 19 all you want.
I've rolled a 17, Jamie. So
Mm.
that's a 32.
Alpraxis visibly kind of relaxes, and you get the sense that he needs to. Like, Siegfried is equally as intense, but kind of, your force of personality persuasion realizes he needs to pretend and perhaps talk about something else. But Alpraxis looks a lot more relaxing next to him.
Siegfried's not budging, huh?
So he's budged a little bit. Like, he's not willing to, become your absolute best friend, but he's at least scrolled the maps away and goes, I hope this is promising. You look, carry yourself differently than others. I pleasantly hope for your return. However, why are you at this party? Who are you?
I saved your
see
life.
I see you know those two over there.
I saved your life earlier today, you might recall.
I don't, but I mean, if you say so.
Yo, insight check though?
Go for it, yeah.
He was there, right?
Yep.
It's a 13.
13. Just seems to be as ambivalent, as unaware of your existence as Ascor is, frankly.
Where were you earlier today?
I was at the rally with my father. It went fine, as far as I know. He got on
Uh-huh.
stage, he left. Like any other rally.
Right. I see. Yes. It was a good one. Enjoyed it. Huh. All right. Well, thank you for your time. I look forward to coming back with further information about the excavation, both to you, and he turns to the Dragonborn, and report findings to your office or to this house.
But if you have secrets a blessing here, I lead the team that is, making it safe and excavating. Just make your way over to Scott. I'm sure I, unlike this one, do not forget a face. Is that Lorian over there?
That is probably Lorian over there, yes.
Siegfried, any moment, and he kind of gets up and kind of takes your arm, walks over to Lorian.
What's his guy called again? Alphraxis? Is it?
Alphraxis, yeah.
Good even, sir.
Good evening. Sorry, Siegfried. I must say that that burn cream you gave earlier, exceptional. My men are very recovered. Do you have any more in stock yet?
You don't say. Well, my colleague, who is the one who takes care of all our sourcing materials, is away on business at the moment, so it may take some time for me to acquire the special materials involved.
I'll pay triple. Whatever you
Triple,
need.
you say? Well, I will see what I can do, and I will send word to you when it is ready.
Wonderful. And well, if you're working, are you two working, you three working together, kind of motions to. Sorry, you two. It's just Lorian and Barnes left in this room, I think. Actually, yeah. So you two working together for this expedition?
Expedition? He says, trying to pretend that he wasn't just listening to everything they were saying.
Yeah.
Well, I've promised Siegfried my help, and also this friend of yours. I think we might have the set of skills that can at least shed some light as to the mysteries at the bottom of the crater.
Well, how generous of you, Barnes. Well, you know me, Alfaris. I'm just a businessman minding my own, trying to make a name for myself in this big city here. And I think going off adventuring and doing all these noble pursuits in the name of progress and science like y'all are doing is just not quite fit for me. He sort of like flicks his hair and like petals kind of go. There's like a blush of like very like sweet smelling flowers. No.
Eloise is like looking at you, like kind of grabs a flower and seems to put it right in a pocket somewhere.
Barnes inhales the sweet scent like a.
Well,
Perhaps I'm not quite fit for this sort of expedition.
Frax kind of looks and goes, but I wouldn't recommend leaving until you have bought some of this man's safeguards.
Well,
They have bought them.
I've already purchased from him some goods actually. Very excited to give them a go.
Wonderful.
Actually, Lorian, I had some questions about their use. Could we maybe have a quick word?
Of course, of course. Well, I'll be in touch, sir.
Well, thank you, Lorian. And I'll get back to you know how he gets. Eloise, nice to see you again. Eloise kind of cuts again. And I will say that you guys sufficiently detach, although Eloise seems to be Lorian's shadow at this party, kind of clinging to him a little bit.
I might try a oh, Eloise, my dear, that lady over there. I think she dropped her handkerchief. I don't know her. Would you mind maybe returning it to her for me? And I'll just reach into my pocket and pull out, I don't know, like a doily cloth or one of his I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Trinkets.
Sorry, you must not be here. I'm a Galvadane. We have servants for that kind of thing.
Lorian's just like,
In which case, would you mind signaling a servant to do
Of
this
course,
work?
she kind of puts her hands up and snaps her fingers, and
as
someone
she's-
scurries forward.
And she's distracted momentarily. He's gonna whisper into Lauren and be like, Lorian, I'm not sure that Siegfried's real.
you don't say. So Lorian is gonna turn to Eloise, and I probably don't need to cast Charm Person, but as in terms of the Charm Person coming in the form of the one of the Fey Wanderer features, he's kind of gonna turn to her and kind of there's you guys will probably notice being quite observant. There's a sort of you've seen him do before when he summoned his Fey, like a glittery kind of breeze wafts over her, and he goes, "Now, my dear, I feel like you spend an awful lot of time with me tonight, gracing me with your here presence, but there are plenty of folks at this here party who would love to hear tales from your academia. I'm sure you have a lot to share."
That was slightly distorted. You can make a persuasion check to get her to leave you alone.
Your
30?
microphone went kind of muffled when you lowered your voice.
Oh, 30. Is that better?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear you now.
13.
30, yeah.
Sorry, 30 or 13?
30, 30.
Oh, wow, okay. She's like, I suppose I have been hogging you, and Father did seem awfully pleased about the people I brought, right? He did.
He certainly did. He certainly did.
Got on swimmingly, Eloise. What a charming
Mm.
man.
Can I introduce you later, Lorian, to him?
Perhaps. Well,
As you know.
I'll come find you later on.
Okay. If she kind of shuffles off a little bit, and you see her kind of go over to Alfred and start kind of chatting away in that group.
Yeah, acts like she's your betrothed.
I'm sure she would love to be, but
Same.
you gotta keep them sweet, and they'll introduce you to all sorts of the right people with very deep pockets.
Right. Very entrepreneurial of you. Anyway, the matter at hand. That Siegfried didn't remember what happened at the rally. He had no clue.
He had no clue. That's quite interesting.
He was
What
certainly
do you make
there. Well, one of them's fake. One of them's not the real one.
Well, she's definitely the real one. I can promise you that.
All right, so we have a fake Ascor, and potentially we have a fake Siegfried running around. I got a weird vibe when I touched him as well, like a presence looming over me in the back of my mind, this fathomless dread. And he was wet, moist, and I don't like that word.
He was moist. Well,
He was moist.
I mean, I suppose he has a lot of weight on his shoulders, a lot of things to worry about.
Right, it didn't feel like clammy sweat though, it felt like slick eel sort of skin. The kind of slimy that really doesn't normally permeate beyond one's character, but somehow managed to for him.
Well, I would say also that slimy ain't a word that I heard used to describe him before. He's sort of the golden boy of the Von Galverding horde here.
Almost slightly irritated to have me offering help.
You do come off a little... No, never mind.
No, please tell me. I'm open to feedback.
You come across a little strong sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. As someone
Oh.
who, in my profession, pushes on strongly. And sometimes with these genteel folk, a softer touch can go a long way.
That surprises me. I must still be adjusting to the niceties of today.
The ballroom is a lot like a battlefield and for these folk. And they don't see a lot of battlefields, so they take their ballrooms pretty seriously.
I was navigating these softer folks a little different to the politics of archmages, which I always considered myself quite good at, so I have some learning to do to fit in then.
Sure, and you won't find an archmage around this lot.
No, I suppose I won't at that. Where are our friends?
Isn't that your friend? And he just points to Asco, who's I think just standing right next to us.
A little bit further apart, but whether or not Ascor's listening, it's up to Ascor. But Ascor has basically been in the room making conversation, but trying to listen into most conversations. I think is the vibe. Correct me
Yes.
if I'm wrong.
He was your friend?
Yes, we have a torturous relationship in Sourcel, actually. Really terrible history.
As the pointing happens, Ascor sort of holding his glass, just sort of turns to the person, points to him, and goes, "Well, yes."
Yes, good evening, sir. My compatriot Barnes here was about to offer an introduction for us.
How intriguing! Now,
Right.
what is that accent?
Mine. It's a little archaic. It's from
What? No, please. I was talking to your friend here.
Oh.
Say something again. Anything.
Buongiorno.
Oh, marvelous. Positively marvelous. Now, I didn't get your name either.
Is he talking to Lorian? Sorry. Well, you can call me Lorian.
Lorien. Well then. Where did you hail from, Lorien?
Originally, of course, if you could not tell, is leaves are literally growing and falling out of his hair. I am descended straight out of the Feywild myself. Although I have built up my own establishment here in Amon with my business partner for the last 15 or so moon years.
Oh, you're a businessman. And so looks around to whoever makes you goes, Oh, do tell.
They titter a little bit, like, "Oh, Ascor, don't be
Well,
kind."
it is just a humble little family-owned business. It is a small apothecary in the promenade. Some of y'all folk I do see around occasionally, I know. And he sort of like if Alfred's around, he sort of like raises his glass to Alfred, have been known to enjoy my products from time to time.
I think Alfred
Is
might be in a
Alfred-
different. Alfred might be in a different room, unfortunately.
Well, yeah. If any of the people on the
Is-
list are in there, he sort of
Alfraxis is. Alfraxis seems engaged in Siegfried, but as you see the emotions, you kind of gets attention and he kind of nods confusedly and gets back down.
but absolutely I will not pretend to be in any sort of industry in any way like our esteemed peers around this room here.
Oh, please don't be so coy. In fact, you have much to share. Do tell of Alfraxis's business. I'm curious to know.
Oh, well, I could not pretend to know about their personal business, but I do aid them in supporting their work down there in the Sindascar.
Personal. What kind of work exactly?
Well, perhaps you know much about the Feywild, perhaps you don't know a lot, but we do have access to
I
some.
know several fairy tales, but I can't say much more beyond that.
Well, that we do have some very unusual and unique ingredients which can aid simple folk like yourselves in healing and bettering your simple minds and bodies.
How very curious. Well, I think that shall. I think that could make the talk of the evening.
Oh no, I would not say so. Not at all. Not at all. Barnes, you have a very interesting trade yourself. Our fella here, he's a very educated man, and he loves to speak amongst folks such as yourselves. You always have a lot to say, Barnes.
So
Well,
your name is Barnes. That is curious. I did know a fellow called Silo and, well, another named Warehouse.
Ascor, you're hilarious. Wow, I've not heard that one before. No, it's short for Barnaby, if you must know. Yes, no, my profession. I'm a healer of the mind. My special skill is motivating those who
Okay,
struggle
still
to
listening.
motivate themselves. Sort of helping folk out with the things that get them down when everything's quiet and it's just them in a dark room. If you know what I mean. Problems that those under extreme amounts of pressure suffer, those in the limelight. You must be potentially familiar, or at least heard of the malefiction.
There's an awkward silence. And Ascor's like, right. Yes, very heavy stuff.
Somewhat, although it's not all bad. Ultimately, what I want to do is help people have fun, enjoy themselves, live life in the way that they're meant to. It's a little heavy,
I
but
can't tell if you're a shrink or if you're selling something this evening.
I'm a psychiatrist, although there are many routes to achieving that levity of life that
Oh,
one hopes
well.
for.
That's a shame. We can't all be as useful. We sort of.
No, we can't, I suppose.
So I will say, with this conversation happening and you guys rejoining, Hayden,
Oh.
your eyes open back up, and you're sitting in a very different environment. And you kind of move your hands and move your feet, and they're both tied to a chair. I will say for now we won't move roll 20 to the location you were in. But as your kind of eyes grow accustomed to the gloom, you seem to be looking out the window. You can make out the lights or the sound coming from your east, and the window seems to be facing towards the west, away. It seems to be nighttime still. You're slightly groggy, sitting in that chair, there's a single light kind of hanging down, and furniture seems to be pushed to the side. This isn't a particularly dusty room. Seems to be fairly well used, except for now, it's you and 2 or 3 other figures. Spiling Shen, who you saw before, a cloaked figure standing at the wall, and the familiar face of the half-elf, red-haired Kari standing before you, who, as you wake up, you see her smile, holding a glass you've seen earlier, and kind of looks down at you. Hidden, it's been such a while. You didn't even come say hi in the party.
Long time no see.
You
This
had
isn't
me so
really the greeting I was
worried.
expecting.
I thought you were going well. You wake me up at 2 a.m. so many times. What else am I supposed to think?
Time zones are hard. What can I say?
How long have you been in M1?
Few days.
You're honest?
Well, I think you knew the answer anyway.
No. You've done a pretty good job. I assumed you weren't first here when you arrived at that disaster of a rally. So tell me. I'm sure you've prepared some story. I want to hear it.
Story about what? Been keeping you updated.
You were meant to give Ascor away.
Where is he? That one
Well,
out
his
there.
doppelganger's dead on his bedroom, so I wonder where he is.
Sorry, what? The doppelganger's dead.
Oh, quite conclusively.
Okay.
You failed. That's him, isn't it, in the party?
I thought that was the doppelganger, so...
Where do you think Ascor is?
Kind of hard to keep track of him when I'm also keeping track of everyone else.
Baku's here. Zug's here.
The bounty's been removed for Zug. Has it not?
Where did you learn that?
I asked around.
I mean, he's presumed dead. The dead man's bounty's still active.
I thought that the reward had been rescinded.
So you've been in Amon for a few days. You've lost track of Ascor to the extent you came to his family estate. Presumably to look for him. Baku is here with no sign of the money. And rather than report a dead man's alive, you waltz into a party with him? Hey, then.
The money isn't an issue for Aku. I'm gonna get that
Oh,
paid.
your lies are so much worse.
No. That's gonna be paid. You don't need to worry about that. And Zug, I thought his bounty was gone. And I came here to find Ascor. What do you want me to do? You've sent me on so many jobs at the same time with this group that's like fucking herding cats.
When was the last time you messaged me, Hayden?
Last
Do you remember?
couple weeks.
And since then, you were in Persona. And now you're here. for a couple of days. Did you not think to check in? To report? Could prepare? So I'd not be seen as unknowing when Heinrich asks me what's going on? Did Klons and Aeonir fail or succeed? Is Ascor dead? Where are Klons and Aeonir? And with that question, Aku, as you leave, will begin to walk towards the door. A figure approaches you and gruffs you slightly closely by the arm. I need to talk. It's Aku, right? You're gonna want to come with me. Don't yell. And the others follow. Hayden's dead. Got it?
The mention of don't yell, Aku kind of turns to look at this guy for the second time tonight. Not very impressed.
I know.
And
I know
he
you can't talk.
follows.
I know you can scream inside that head of yours, though. Say, Aku walks out. As you walk outside, you begin to be directed towards the left side. Sorry, east side. No, west side of the map. And he kind of stops you to the side and like kind of pulls you up against a tree. You gonna say anything?
I have said nothing. Who are you and what do you want?
I think you know who we are. And he kind of pulls back his wrist, and you can see there's the cloth tattoo on there.
Uh-oh.
You knew we were here, though, right? Not unexpected.
Get to the point. What do you want? What have you done with Hayden?
Oh, Hayden's just answering some questions. Except you. You're the only one whose life isn't worth anything to us, but owes quite a chunk of money. And, well, have you got it? It'd be much easier if you did.
Aku kind of, after he's mentioned that, like, the threat to kill Hayden, Aku for a moment, he frowns. He stares at this guy. And then after a split second, his expression sort of lightens and looks almost apologetic and says, well, yes, of course I've got the money. Why would I return to Amon if I didn't? But
Wonderful.
you understand that you've taken our friend. I mean, is there any proof that he's okay? That he's with you, as you say? I mean, where even is he?
Make a persuasion check.
I have advantage, so I'm gonna roll twice. Natural 20 again? What the
Yo!
Only Letty, man.
I love it when they're easy. I'm glad that's the reason you've returned. I'm glad for his sake too. I like it. So, follow me. I'll take you to him. We can sort this nasty little mess out. And he begins walking. You can see him go around the side of this kind of storehouse towards the church on the side here.
So does
If-
it look like the destination that we're walking to is the church? Or
Yeah.
Hang on. I think I need to zoom out a bit.
Have you got this on stream? Sorry,
I can put it on. The
You should. There should be like a Hayden with an X through it.
Oh, yeah.
Towards the south
Okay.
with.
So where are we actually now? Like, because you said that we're walking towards the church, and that seems to be the destination.
You're where you are on the map. You kind of walk around this side, and he goes, "Hayden's just waiting for you upstairs," and he kind of motions towards the church.
Mhm. And are we like outside the building?
Yeah, you're outside the building behind it. He took you to kind of behind a building, away from where the like party is, away from the guards to see you to have this chat.
Aku, yeah, he like smiles at the messenger, and he's like, "Well, I appreciate it. This does make it a lot easier." And he draws his spear, and he stabs the messenger through the gut, and says in his ear, "Thanks for the message."
You can roll with advantage because he is surprised.
Yep.
Yo, let's go!
Yes.
Fucking go. Aka's gonna fuck him
Hop
up.
off. Slap him silly.
24.
24.
Yep.
Absolutely hits. Please roll damage.
Smite him.
Smite him. Yes.
Yeah, smite him for real.
Uh, 13 points of damage.
All right. You get 2 attacks, right?
Yep.
Please follow up. But the first one, yeah, you kind of stab it in the gut, and he kind of like looks around, surprised. But kind of you pull your spear out.
I just rolled another natural 20, but I'm not actually sure. Like, okay, I mean, okay, yeah, I'm gonna smite him. Fuck it, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He going down.
Put him down, man.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if like my attacks were enough to just outright kill a man, but he wants to pretty badly maim him and leave him bleeding on the floor. Sorry, just trying to find which smite I'm using. I've got lots of them now. Da-da-da-da. Okay, so that'll be double damage. Oh, no, sorry, wrong roll. Okay, so 11, so 22 plus 2 D4, I think it is. Plus 7 points of damage.
Okay. Absolutely. As you kind of the second strike, you kind of come pause a little bit, and your next strike is like in the chest more than the gut, and you kind of. And as your spear kind of it floats a little bit of energy, causing a little bit of flash in the night, but enough to draws attention. You see the kind of energy sap around, and he kind of like pulls back, his eyes slightly burning as he falls on the floor dead in front of you. Chest burning, guts kind of spilling out.
And before I move on, I would like to put my ear to kind of the wall of where he gestures that Hayden is.
Oh, you're gonna go up to hit. So as you approach, you'll see that the church, this
Mhm.
kind of building here, there
Yeah.
are 2 kind of von Galverdane's guards stationed outside, but you don't know if there are other entrances or exits.
Okay. Yeah, but before I approach anyone, he's gonna sort of, I guess, put his hand to the closest wall, kind of shut his eyes, and he is gonna imagine the the leather piece that Hayden always wears on his arm that he noticed that he wore to the party earlier today.
Okay.
And he is gonna cast locate object to see if Hayden actually is in the vicinity.
Hayden is approximately on the 2nd floor above this part of the building where I'm pinging. Can you see me? That's the location Ascor is getting. That's what Aku's getting. You're muted, I think. Or not muted?
Yeah, I guess then he would try and see if there's a way to sneak in, whether it's climbing up the walls without being seen, or
Yeah, you could
sneaking in.
attempt to climb the walls, or you could attempt to find a way in if you want to choose.
Yeah, I think he'd look for a way in first.
Okay.
Without
Make an investigation check.
10.
10.
Yep, 10.
Cool. You look round, and this kind of entrance here has 2 guards. As you kind of scuttle around to this side, you notice this entrance here only has 1 guard.
Aku is gonna attempt to sneak up on the guard and slit his throat.
Make a stealth check for me.
Where is Aku gone?
I'll
there
move
he
you.
Given that I'm not wearing my armor, I don't have to roll with disadvantage, do I?
No, but please do bear that in mind whenever your AC is threatened.
Yep, we'll do. 14.
I will roll perception for the guard. 12. That's a natural 10. So if you could make your attack roll for me. Both of them at advantage.
Go on, Aku. Go on, son. Hit him, Leonard.
That's a 27 and a 26 to hit.
Both hit.
$19 points of damage plus 3 points of damage for my bonus action.
Okay, and your follow up.
That's in total.
In total, sorry, 23 in total.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This guy, he seems to be slightly sturdier. So could you roll initiative as your spear kind of thrushes through the back, and he kind of like barrels over a little bit. However, he kind of turns around, like seems bit in his tongue a little bit, kind of looking great, but kind of shifts around ever so slightly. And roll initiative and see whether or not he has an opportunity to do anything before you attack again. 13. Okay, no. Could you attack twice again, please? He rolled 11.
That's a natural 1.
Misses your first strike.
28.
28 hits though.
14 plus 3.
Yeah, so as he kind of like, you see him turn around and he draws his sword, and his first attack he parries you kind of make a semi-clumsy strike, not expecting him to go. And as he kind of goes, he seems like to open his mouth to kind of utter some kind of cry to cause alarm. Your spear straight through, up through his chest, kind of cutting his tongue off, and you see it kind of protrude slightly through his nose. As he and kind of blood pools around it and falls on the ground as he kind of like works your spear to the ground, and he drops.
Game of Thrones shit.
Well, I guess Aku walks into the building.
Okay, walking into the building, you hear some kind of fucking on again, and you kind of look over, and there are 3 kind of hooded figures over by the altar. If we move Hayden inside, so Hayden can see, for the stream, kind of playing dice over by the altar, and there seems to be stairs in front of you leading up. If you're going to try to sneak past, could you make a stealth check for me? Otherwise, not.
Okay, I'll attempt to make a stealth check.
Yeah, you're aware from your thing that Hayden is upstairs. You imagine or think.
That's a 19. What? As if I'd roll like above a 10 on a stealth check. What the fuck?
Okay, they're gonna roll. Oh god, that's not. Why did I just roll? I just rolled 3 D100s. That's not what I meant.
Jamie? I'm scared.
That's a.
Game is rigged.
The game's rigged. That's 11, a 2, and a 13. So they do not notice you as they are playing their dice rolls. As you creep upstairs, and we will move to a different battle map. The second floor of the Von Galverdane estate. should load in now. Hayden, sorry, okay, you know that at the end of this long corridor, which will now prepare for.
Should I be able to?
Yeah, you know that there's. You see there are 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms off to the side, and you know that Hayden is on the far side. I will ask for another stealth check if you were going to attempt to creep closer to the door where you think Hayden is and listen in.
Jamie,
Yeah.
can you delete my token?
just
It's
so you're aware.
spoilers.
Yeah, sorry, fine.
No, my other
Yes.
token, my real token.
Wait, you're one here. This one.
Yeah, because the stream can see where he is.
Oh no! I mean, the stream knows where he is based on the search, right?
Yeah. Cool.
DM, I was going to check if the stream can see, like, because our characters can't see, but the stream.
No,
can
that's
see,
fine.
right?
You guys are in the dark at the moment. The stream can see though.
Cool.
We in the party. We sipping champagne and tittering and
Having a
making
grand
small
old time.
talk.
We in the party, and we in the party.
Ascor, you're so funny. I can't believe I never appreciated your sense of humor.
Sai and Aku. So that's a 15 your stealth roll.
Yep.
I will roll for the couple of people you are passing. Okay. Creep forward. There's a little like sound. And there's a little movement from one of the rooms. But you press ahead. You ignore it. And you approach where you believe Hayden to be. Putting your ear to the door. Can I make a perception check for me?
Yeah.
Aku. 5.
Oh.
That's okay. It's slightly muffled. You hear the sounds of Hayden is certainly inside. You hear the words of a woman, as well as another man occasionally chiming in. I'll say you hear this part. I'll let you know when you hear the part of this conversation. Hayden, inside the room.
Give me my token back now.
Yes, you can come back as the group that they know where you are. In here, with Kari and Shen. Yeah, I need to drop in here.
Get rid of my big X.
Yes, true.
Till now.
Where is Kari? Kari is here. But you don't hear this Yakaki based on that. So, Hayden, we sent you halfway across the world. Did you at least complete that part? Ezek has his box.
Yes. Yeah. That has been delivered. And I have a receipt, proof of delivery.
Wonderful. I'm sure we'll look at it in a second. Where are Erin and Klunst? We haven't heard of them since they betrayed Ascor.
Quick player check. Is that the names of the
That's
murder,
the murder husbands,
husbands?
yes.
They died.
They died.
Yeah. Sorry, he doesn't laugh. He's dead fucking serious. I just can't lie.
You can make a persuasion check. Oh, deception check. Sorry.
Yeah, they die.
That's real a shame.
Anyway.
sad. Anyway.
They're dead.
Anyway, I'm gonna grab a drink.
16?
16. I'm gonna grab a drink. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Those in the party, talk amongst yourself. In the main party, I suppose. 16. We'll see if they believe that.
Laughs in Irish.
What's what you guys talking about back at the party, huh? Having fun?
So
Lots and
Ascor,
wealth.
I love your cravat, or what you call this thing that you got going on, this lizard attire.
For a second, Ascor actually sort of, his face drops. He goes, yes, it is quite the fashion in Zemnia right now.
Right, what a place that must be. Very good. So, what
Definitely a place.
did you do this morning?
I'm sorry, what?
What did you do this morning? I'm making small talk. I'd love to know. What are your hobbies?
Do you like frogs?
Do you
Hello.
like frogs?
I like frogs. This is
Toads.
positively
Yes.
absurd. Frankly, I would say to the guards to throw you out. You're clearly not in your element. You do not belong here. But at the same time, I've got to say it's positively entertaining.
Do you know what a frog is, Ascor?
A frog, I believe I do, but
Could you
I'm
describe
sure
a
you're going
frog
to tell
to
me some backwater recipe.
A recipe for a frog?
I don't think he knows what a frog
I
is.
wouldn't be
I'm starting to
surprised.
think that he don't know what a frog is either.
Do you know what a toad is? Like Toad of Toad Hall.
Indeed, but surely there's a story you can tell us about your life with toads.
Arian, you're the toad guy. Tell us about toads.
Well, I think it's a little diminishing to the Grungus family to refer to them as toads, personally.
Right, what are they then? Tell us about the family Grungus.
Well, they're esteemed members of the Unseelie Court, and they're so much more than just toads and frogs.
I
But
can't wait to hear
quite
it.
curious to get back to our original question, Ascor. Could you describe a frog to us?
Well, of course, I'm sure everybody here has heard the story of the princess and the frog. Well, yes, of course. Well, it's that. I'm sorry, I don't really follow. I am entertained, of course.
So you keep saying, but you still haven't told us what a frog is.
Well, I know what a frog is, but I think you're playing some kind of joke on me. I don't think you really mean a frog. I think a frog is some kind of code word.
What color is a frog?
I'm not gonna fall for it.
What happens when you lick a frog?
Have you ever kissed a frog before?
See? I was right. All
Would
of
you
you are
kiss a
absurd.
frog? Would you marry a frog?
He turns to someone beside him and goes, "Damn it, yes I would. What does that mean?"
Wow, that means you're pretty degenerate, Ascor.
So, switching back. Kai sighs. Dead, and you felt no need to message me? Or not dead?
Well, that was never part of my job. You never told me that you were sending them.
They weren't for you, they're for Ascor. Why would that matter? You were just to keep him away, not keep him alive.
Might have helped. Job a bit easier if I'd known. You
A
sure
dead
they...
man is a dead man is very easy to control. What do you mean?
I helped you guys get him when we're back in Silvercut Crossroads. Like, if you wanted him dead, you would have just killed him then, so it...
I didn't want him dead. I wasn't being paid to have him dead then.
Terms of the contract changed, and he didn't bother telling me.
I think keeping him away and keeping him dead are fairly incongruous. Do you not believe?
Keeping him dead is a lot easier than keeping him away.
Hayden. Can you at least see things from my perspective? I feel betrayed, Hayden.
I don't know.
Warned me that they'd returned. You walked through the front doors with him, no? Zug, Ascor, Aku, all of your charges. I feel we may have given the poison up on you too early. Trusted you too much. Do you still need some incentive to
No.
obey?
No.
Shen, if you don't mind.
What?
And Shen will be currently detecting your thoughts on a higher level. What is currently
no.
on a very high level, not intruding. What is currently going through Hayden's mind? As in, like, I think it's what is it like most strong emotion? I think is the detect thoughts. How lenient are you?
Surface thoughts.
Surface thoughts.
Surface thoughts or surface emotion?
I think we always rule it as emotion because surface thoughts can be, whatever is like the thing you're talking about, right? It can be pretty insightful. I think emotions is kind of where we go a lot.
Okay, well, surface emotion is he's terrified.
Okay.
And he's also kind of like annoyed at himself for having not thought this through far enough to really prepare a proper.
Wisdom saving throw.
Oh no. Okay. Because Ak is on the other side of the door. Do I get the bonus?
Aku's not there. Aku's not there yet.
Damn it. Okay. Okay. Fuck. It's an 8. Wait. Oh no, I double clicked it. Wait. I double
Is it lower
clicked.
than an 8?
I double clicked it, and the first click was a nat 20.
Okay, so I'll say you resist the NET, but
All that training with Roman paid off.
Shen kind of mutters. Scared? Is that the emotion of an innocent man?
You guys have got me tied up in this fucking little closet. I know what you do. He kind of like glances at like Shen's hands.
What do you mean what we do?
There's no... Look. Been gone for a long time. And terms have obviously changed. Let's...
Very important to me, Hayden, that you tell me the truth. And I'm going to need you to make a wisdom saving throw against Kari.
Oh...
Not detect thoughts.
Wisdom saving. That's a 6. I don't know why my spells are double rolling. Oh, it's because I've got inspiration. So I'm getting
You are
double
under the
rolls on everything.
effect of the Gias spell, and you are compelled to tell Kari the truth.
Oh no. Right, so exactly how does the Gia spell work? Is it like I'm
You place a
unable
magical
to
command
lie?
on a creature that you can see within range, forcing it to carry out some service or refrain from some action or course of activity as you decide. If the creature can understand you, it must succeed in a wisdom saving throw or become charmed by you for the duration. So every time you attempt to not do what Kari desires, in this case is tell the truth, you take 5d10 psychic damage.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
Did you grow to like them, Hayden? Were you Stockholm syndromed?
I wasn't Stockholm syndrome. That'd be ridiculous.
You can take 5d10 psychic
What?
damage.
What's Stockholm syndrome?
Oh, man. Were you ever going to tell me you were back in Amon?
Eventually.
When? What conditions needed to be met? I'll say from this point on, you're listening, Aku, and you can interrupt whenever you wish. You heard that question.
Once
Aku had paid his debt, once Ascor was dead, once Zug was arrested. Which one of these objectives were you hoping to fulfill, if any?
I was gonna, and before he can like even finish speaking, he takes the 5d10 psychic damage.
Oh, I will roll it.
Yeah, you roll it.
18.
18 points of damage.
No, Hayden, don't lie. Such a shame when you try to lie, Hayden. It hurts me so.
I don't know. It's complicated.
You didn't know when you were going to come back to us. Come back to your family.
Yeah. I didn't know. Very sudden. Back. Wasn't quite ready. On them over.
So you waltzed into this party expecting What?
Be here.
Saw me on stage, did you not?
Yes. Good.
Have you spoken to the real Ascor down there?
Yeah. Thought he was your fake.
Really? What did he do?
Didn't know us. Didn't remember us. In
Damn, I
hindsight, I
didn't-
realize that's classic Ascor.
And of so that is Ascor, he's back. There's little to be done. Despite your lying. And Zug? Little orc friend. Half-orc, really.
What about him?
Would you abandon them all? Aku. You won Barnes.
Abandon them for what?
Us. We're back. All of us.
Yeah, of course. And he takes more damage.
Yeah. At this point, she draws her knife.
Oh,
She kind of holds it to your throat.
shit. How much damage?
16.
16.
Very disappointing, Hayden.
At this point, Hayden, actually, do I have to see somebody?
Oh, that's a good point about Kalashtar. I will.
Yeah.
Think it is.
I think it might be on his site. I mean, you can speak Heaven. Any creature you can see. Yes.
60 feet. You got to see it.
Okay, well, he's not going to do that then. He is going to speak to Lanharath and ask him what's going on in there. Go look.
Okay. Lanharath is going to look at Aku, nods, and is going to meld in with the wooden wall. I hate to make a perception check for me.
Tree man. Yeah, okay. That is a 24.
Wow. Okay, 24. Aku, your eyes, to no one in particular, suddenly glow, golden, and you begin to see through, as if you're on pinpointed on the other side of the wall, into the room. Into the room, you see Hayden, kind of blood streaming down one of his eyes, out of his nose, just looking slightly sleepy, and a couple of bruises across him. You see two hooded figures behind him, one next to the door. That you don't recognize as anyone in particular, but you do recognize Spiraling Shen, who's someone you've had business with before, standing behind Hayden to the right, and you also recognize Kari standing with her dagger across Hayden's throat. As they continue the conversation, I will say for 5-10 seconds before you get to react. So you do like them. That's why you didn't tell me you were back.
Hayden kind of like
Choose them.
Hayden looks her in the eyes and says, I would choose them every time over you.
And she begins. You feel the pain searing here, cut across down here. No, that's fine. Aku can jump in.
Okay. Before she gets a chance to like actually do that, are there any like windows out from where the corridor
There is
Aku is?
no, but there is one facing the other side of the room you can see in. So I'm going to move Aku in just so you can kind of get an idea of the room. There is one facing next to where Kari is standing.
Mm-hmm. Fuck. I thought there'd be a window.
But you can see Lanharath's face is kind of where you are standing on that side of the wall. You can
Okay.
see everything that's happening right now. And
I-
sorry, with that roll, when did you say that, Hayden? You look up and you see a slight indent of Lanharath's face on the other side of the wall. On the side of the wall.
Cool. Last thing I see before I die. Awesome. Lanrath's face.
Tree man just
I guess-
creeping.
In a panic, potentially Aku would just say to Lanharath, you have to create a distraction in there, like something fast.
I would say Lanharath will allow you to cast one of your spells off your list in the room.
Okay. Aku is I'm not a mage, unfortunately. I don't have any fireballs. What spells did I actually prepare?
Did you prepare Revivify?
Sure fucking hope you did.
Don't say it.
Let's not talk about that one. Okay.
Hayden, could you roll a Constitution saving throw as the dagger begins to bite your skin?
Oh fuck. Okay. 19.
You succeed.
Cool.
You do take sneak attack damage, so
I take sneak attack damage.
yeah.
Okay, how much damage do I take?
Kari, before I could cast a spell,
Am I allowed to now? Can I do
you
that
are
now?
you're casting it. So these things happen simultaneously. Hayden's throat begins to emerge from red blood running down as you cast your spell. Hayden, you take 50 points of slashing damage.
Hey, Lanhrath would like to cast Hold Person on Kari. That's who's holding
Yeah,
the knife.
absolutely. Hold person. What saving throw is that? Wisdom, right?
16, yeah.
Wisdom 16. Oh boy, I do not have particularly high pluses in this stat. That is a 12. I think is a fail, right?
Yep.
Okay. As the throat kind of goes in, Hayden, you feel yourself losing consciousness. Your brain goes and your head falls forward, but the knife seems to stick. And you see Aku as Kari's hand falters and just freezes in place, and her head like moves up, and like the others kind of look around, looking at her, kind of expecting her to keep going.
At that moment, Aku is gonna burst through the door and try and get as close to Hayden as he possibly can in the time that people aren't expecting it.
Okay, so we will have a surprise round for Aku up first. We will roll initiative for everyone. And I mean the rest of you at the party, because there are a certain number of rounds before this is unavoidably noticed by the sounds that presumably are about to be made. If everybody could roll initiative.
It's an actual one.
Everybody?
Including you, Ascor, my friend, who is Ascor, as those of you don't know, but it's actually Ascor. That's a changeling. As depending on what rolls were made during time off, Ascor did indeed manage to kill the changeling on his own.
Yo, that's epic.
That's cool.
Jamie, how
Nice.
does rolling for initiative work if you're already unconscious?
You roll for initiative, but your death saving throws are on whatever initiative you roll.
Be fun.
I'm gonna add the rest of you in the kind of main hall area of this. So we will have Lorian here.
I'm really glad I have Dimension Door. Too bad I don't know where I'm going.
So Barnes. Who am I? Wait, how many of you am I adding? And Zug, who Zug is still chatting with Grog. So you guys can see yourselves, right?
Why did you just
no.
roll 2083?
You know, man's just rolling initiative in that. I think I'm out from first.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah, I see myself. Okay.
So you guys are all I'll say loosely you're in the dining room at the moment. Or the main
Jamie,
hall
can you put
area.
a fake Hayden in the dining room? Oh wait, is it two
Yeah.
different maps?
Yo, I
No,
can't.
no,
do
no.
that
So
together.
it's okay-ish. So sorry.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
No, I got you there.
Oh, okay, cool.
Could everybody roll initiative?
19.
I'm just adding up everybody's scores. So I will give Aku a surprise round absolutely off the start. Aku, you can describe what you're doing as you burst through the door. I will say roll a athletics check to see if you can knock open the door first. It could be a bit of an embarrassing
God.
one
What
otherwise.
do you mean? It's a door.
He's got like 20 strength, and
Look,
he's
Grog
like
failed. Grog failed to break through a door. I'm rolling this shit.
he's also like yandere mode. He's got bonus, right?
Isn't it just a strength check? Straight.
well, athletics. Sorry.
Oh, athletics.
You can have your proficiency bonus. Don't worry.
I'm in danger.
Are you kidding? Are you fucking joking
This
me?
is why we
I
have to
rolled
roll.
a 3. That's 11.
Oh
Go fuck
no.
yourself, door.
You lose half your movement. Could you try again?
But that's an 11. That's.
Yep, the door's pulses.
This is a clasp
An
door.
average person cannot open a locked door in one go.
Oh my god.
You just rolled an 11 and then a 12.
That's
So-
a natural 3 and a natural 4.
Okay, would you like to use your action to attempt to open the door as your movement is gone?
Is the door unlocked?
The door is locked and barred across.
Barded, yo.
Oh, okay. Hang on a second. You did not mention that fact to me before I tried to open the door. Okay. Am I allowed? Okay, knowing that now that the door is bolted
Yep.
and pretty sturdy looking, and not just a normal door. Can I please redo my action? Like my.
No. So you've used. I will be generous, and you've used half your movement to attempt to get through the door. You may redo your half your movement and your action should you wish.
I have a question, okay?
Yes.
If I Misty Step, because Lanharath can see into the room, does that count as space that I can see into, therefore Misty Step into?
Yes. Because
Okay.
you are also Lanharath. Yeah, absolutely. So if you would
Bonus
choose your
action.
bonus action to Misty Step in,
Yep.
the mist kind of coalesces around, and where are you appearing?
Okay, so my map isn't actually showing the room.
I'll move you in now. There we go.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Kari is holding the knife against Hayden's throat, but frozen.
She is whole person indeed, yes.
Spiling Shen is right next to Hayden, or
Yes, Kari's behind us. Smiling Shen is next to her.
and what does the person that is in front of, well, between Hayden and the door look like? It's like a
These are vaguely. These are like generic hooded members of the class.
okay. I guess just like right next to Hayden, like as close as he possibly can.
Okay. Absolutely. I'll say that's probably there. Frankly, as you literally emerge on the other side of the wall, you are within physical touching distance of Hayden.
Okay. And he's, I guess, gonna look at Hayden, see that Hayden is passed out with a knife against his throat.
Yeah.
And I think probably the first fuck.
Sorry, I'll just get the rest of you down. So, Ascor, what was your role? Lorian and someone roll
13.
for Zog and Barnes. Sorry. So, Ascor's a 13. Lorian,
15.
15, and Barnes,
19.
19, and Zogs.
Sorry, I'll just do 6 now. D20. Zergs is a 12.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Aku, sorry, back to you.
Okay, I think the first thing that Aku's gonna do is I think he's gonna try and use his action to potentially drag like Hayden or just like move him further away from the knife and move himself in between, like, or his unconscious body in like so that he's in between the other people in the room and Hayden.
Yeah, so with Kari frozen, I'll say you don't actually struggle to like swift your position. So Hayden's still like tied to the chair, but I'll say you guys switch positions. So you move yourself, switch positions with Hayden, kind of throwing the chair Hayden is on against the wall and positioning yourself in the front of the room, kind of looking around at the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5 enemies in this room.
Where did Aku's token go?
Oh shit! Did I delete it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
I might. Shit, sorry. I'll remake. There we go.
Oh, close combat.
Okay. I'll say your action is to switch places with Hayden, throwing his chair against the wall.
And I suppose Kari and Shen are going to hear you have made a mistake. Vaguely threatening, but that's all he's going to say.
Okay. Anything for the bonus action? Oh, you missed your step. For
I
bonus
missed
action.
stepped,
Sorry.
yeah.
Cool. I will roll an intimidation check.
All right, this is because I got all those natural 20s. I'm just going to start failing on my rolls, isn't it? 18.
Okay. I will roll for Kari. Kari fails her wisdom saving throw. She only gets a 15 against your DC. Sorry, your DC. Sorry. Of your magic for your whole person. Aku.
Sorry, can you repeat that? It's
What's your DC for your
16,
magic?
16.
16. 15 fails. So Kari is still stunned for this round. However, the rest of them aren't. And that is not high enough for them to miss their goes. Shen is going to draw his short sword at your approach and kind of move in to attack you. That is going to be 2 attacks with his short sword. Jesus, that's a 3 and a 5, which is a 14 and a 16. Do either of those hit you? In your non-armored state.
I just I have to just check what actually AC is. It 2 that we get from our armor?
No, you get like it sets it to a certain amount. I think probably unarmored that hits everyone.
It's 11 plus your dex, right?
Mm,
Or is that armor that does that?
You
Sorry.
can just
Ascor,
unpick
sorry,
armor,
what's
I
your
think.
DC?
you can unequip the armor and it will tell you.
Ascor, sorry, what's your initiative roll?
I think it's. Oh, mine was 13. I think it's 8 plus your dexterity modifier. You're wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go into your inventory, I think you can unequip the armor and it should...
Yeah, it's 11. It's 11 without the armor.
11. Okay. So they both hit. Could you make 2 con saving throws for me?
Yep. (22 and 24).
Both succeed, so you only take 22 points of piercing damage, as the poison on the blade has no effect on you, but each strike is true, and you kind of, as you're kind of like looking around trying to both look at Kari and protect Hayden, Shen's attacks off the side kind of rip into your muscles, and you kind of cut through your fear, and your kind of your black fur on your side gets a bit stained with blood. This assassin is going to go to that is a 9 to hit. Sorry, and what is your AC at the moment, Aki?
11.
No, it misses. Kari is stunned. This one here moves up to hit you. Jesus. Okay. That is a 10 to hit. not high. This one's not in the room, but you hear kind of at the kind of kind of sound of like blades and commotion. There are other sounds from the various rooms you passed, as others are obviously going to make their way to you. Barnes is not involved yet. This one is going to move up to attack you behind Chen. That is one attack. That is a natural 17, so that is going to hit. Could you make a Constitution saving throw for me?
17.
Success. So half damage on. So you take 4 points of piercing damage. And how much poison damage? And 10 points of poison damage. As the blade, this again, blade is true, and the damage, you kind of feel the poison seeping into you, but again, push through it. Kind of a combination of you and Nanhara's face over you, kind of standing, both of you somehow standing between, protecting Hayden from this assault. Lorian's not involved. Ascor's not involved. I think that's everyone in the room, other than Aku. You're up.
Okay. After being attacked, I mean, Aku's heard a pretty decent chunk through the wall. He has a vague idea of what's going on.
Just in case you weren't, you should be full health after your long rest. I did.
Yeah,
check
yeah,
yeah. Okay,
checked,
yeah.
So at the mention of family, I think he gets the idea that Hayden was working for the clasp. And as he looks back to Hayden, still unconscious on the floor, and he looks around, pretty outnumbered, he looks like he's internally like fighting with himself, like he's breathing very heavily, he's kind of keeps looking back and forward, like he looks unsure. And after he's hit the last time, he is going to suddenly stop moving, and his eyes will turn black, and slowly anyone who's conscious in the room will see sort of a dark swelling mist around Aku and some big ass black wings as his black eyes roll back. And I would like to use my one cast of Avenging Angel that I got very early on in the campaign, please, DM.
So, as a reward for long ago rescuing a sacred part of the foundation of Exandria from the corruption of Zugtami, Lanharath and you explode in divine energy, the light of which piercing through the window to one side out thing. It is difficult for everybody to look at. Hayden, even through your murky kind of unconsciousness, there is like a light far in the distance, as you can see, and everyone else who can kind of move their eye. And I'm going to say, for the sake of it, Kari is blinded for the next round. She is unable to look away from this emergence of light as wings erupt out the back of Aku. Vague, not entirely angelic, in some way covered in flowers. Reminiscent of Melania's, perhaps. However, they appear before you, Aku.
Okay. Well, yeah, he does not look very conscious, and like he is just standing there for now. Everyone is gonna have to take they're gonna have to roll a wisdom saving throw on the beginning of their turn before they can do anything.
Okay. Hayden, death saving throw.
Yeah, I just realized I think
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm gonna roll physical dice because I'm scared to leave it to the real ones.
So, For a behind-the-scene look, the rest of you will have a certain number of turns before you are made aware of what is happening here. It is not, however, one turn, unfortunately.
See you in 2 sessions' time, boys. That's a lot of mobs.
Okay. Hayden rolled whatever Hayden rolled. Death saving rolls. Filing Warren, what is the DC against what happens if they fail their roll, Aku?
They become frightened for 1 minute, or until they take any damage.
That's a 9. So it fails. That's disadvantage on these
Yeah.
rolls then. In which case he is going to make his 2 attacks against you. One of which is a natural 1, one of which
Wait,
doesn't matter.
hang on. If he's frightened, he can't move towards me.
No, but he's already in melee range.
So he failed that, right?
Yeah, he failed his first attack. Second attack, a disadvantage. 3, 10.
Nope.
No, so Shen is like kind of cowering a little bit away, moving away, kind of slashing with his blade, unsure, and manages to miss you. The other assassin, I will roll another saving throw to see if he succeeds. That is a 12. I think that fails your DC for to be frightened.
16.
Okay, so this disadvantage, 6 and a natural 1. Okay. Kari is going to roll to no longer be stunned by you.
Yep.
Natural 1. Kari is still stunned. I'm going to post this. If I post my occasional double nat 20s, you guys can see this bullshit happening. What is this shit? And Kari is still stunned. We'll deal with anything else later. It is the other assassin's go. Who is going to roll a 13, which I think fails as well against yours. So that's disadvantage. However, rolls a 13 and a 19. So this is going to... Could you roll a Constitution saving throw for me, Aku?
Yep. 21.
Succeed, so you take 6 points of piercing damage and half of whatever this roll is. That is... So yeah, 3 points of piercing damage and 10 points of poison damage. As even though they're like backing away from you scared, each strike kind of goes, each strike kind of is, one of them kind of raises across your arm and you feel the poison beginning to kind of seep through your veins and you're kind of bleeding blood down. That is, I think, the end of everyone's go. That's the end of the second one. End of the second NPC's go. It is Aku, your turn.
Am I death saving throw?
Yes.
Okay.
So Aku is gonna kneel down as everyone is kind of stunned by the light and Kari can't move. Aku is gonna kneel down and gently touch Hayden's arm and use his whole pool of lay on hands. So Hayden is revived with 60 points of health.
Thank you so much.
You do, however, suffer 2 points of exhaustion as you fail 2 death saving throws.
But my last one. Oh, thank God. Okay, 60 points of healing.
Okay, as your eyes snap open, you are thrust to the side, and you see you're still on the chair, still thing, and you kind of see this like Aku is standing there, wings outstretched, and there's like vaguely people kind of carrying away. None of them look hurt, but there is suddenly this ever-present light in the room.
Cool. Am I still tied to the chair?
Yes.
Solid.
You can attempt to escape on your turn, however, it is Aku's turn.
Yep.
The lay on hands was my action. Can I attempt to do anything to help Hayden?
If you've got any on your bonus action that you can do,
Yeah.
what would you like to do on your bonus action?
Actually, I'm kind of running out of spells, so actually, I think if I'm not allowed to just help Hayden up, then I'll just move on to someone else's turn.
Okay. Looking at the time, and that being the end of that round, and a couple of rounds, perhaps, until the rest of you are made aware of what is happening, and some discussion to be done about what exactly the party wants to do, and Hayden coming back from life from the brink of death. We shall leave it there for this session.
No.
As welcome back, Luke, and everybody else. The group are in very two different scenarios up there. Some of you drinking, perhaps pondering what you're going to do for Siegfried. The other ones fighting for their life as your former members of your organization attempt to kill you for betrayal, and a single, slightly dubiously actioned paladin murdering people on the way attempts to save you. Obviously there'll be much discussion between now and the next thing as you guys want to do. However, we should leave it there. Erin, do we have anyone to raid? I know I kind of warned you all of a sudden. Anyway. I will join the rest of you as Eloise continues to vaguely look over at Lorien longingly. Barnes, you certainly pick up on this. Zug and Grog are attempting to drink each other under the table and both succeeding fantastically. Ascor is doing a fantastic job of pretending that he does not know the party and attempting to resume his previous role despite
Trying
everything.
to convince everyone that he actually knows what a frog is.
Exactly.
Ribbit you.
And everyone else in the party seems to be having a wonderful time, except for those on the top of the church. Quite some
No,
time
I'm having
away.
a great time.
That was crazy. Cool. Well, thank you everyone for coming along. It's been great. If you enjoyed the stream, please consider checking out our Discord. You can find a link in the chat right now. We have a friendly community of D&D players and gamers that all just like to chat about various things, post cute pet pictures, share memes, etc. Also, if you're enjoying the roleplay shenanigans, we have a exclusive official roleplay channel where we do written text logs that happen between sessions. So anything that we got up to off screen can sometimes be read there, which is kind of interesting, so you can go check that out. We are going to raid That Damn Cat 789, which I hope got my 200 gold from earlier in the session. They are using some sort of interesting looking tabletop software, which I'm quite intrigued to learn more about, so let's all hop in the raid and go look at it together. And yeah, hope to see you guys next week. Take care!
Bye. Thanks for joining. Bye.